What is going on? Welcome to the inaugural NRL Supercoach draft. We've got 20 creators, we've got 20 teams, we have one prize, $500 to the charity of the winner's choosing. I've already started thinking about who I'm going to give it to because I'm that confident, but I can see down the side everyone thinks they are going to win it too. Look, I'm going to go around really quickly. We've got a few people on the stream here, some in the comments as well. I want each person here to give me a bold prediction for the NRL season coming this year and just introduce themselves before we jump into this draft. So Bergs, go first.
Yeah, guys, Bergs from the Casual Athlete here. My biggest prediction for the year is something that I mentioned on TikTok, and I think Matt Burton is going to win the Dally M for the year. And that's me. We're going to head off to my Cowboys compatriot, Sam.
Hey, guys, I'm Sportless Sam, and yes, Cowboy supporter. Very happy last year. Hopefully we can go one step further this year, or two steps further even. And my prediction, I actually think Mitchell is going to win the Dally M. If he stays healthy, it's a big one.
Not bad.
Wow.
My turn.
Yeah,
Hello, guys. My name is Emil
Yeah.
from Emil. That's my page name. This is the team that's going to win the comp this year. But my bold prediction is if the Bulldogs can gel together properly, I think they can make top 4. Not just top 8, but top 4.
Ooh, huge.
Yeah, big one. That's a big one.
Solid.
Big one.
I'm Oliver from Rugby League, in my opinion, and my big prediction for the year, I wouldn't necessarily say it's heaps bold, but I feel like it's somewhere sort of in the middle. It's quite divisive, but I'm tipping Cronulla to win the comp this year.
Ooh,
Massive.
good one.
How
Yeah.
about you, Max?
Yeah, I'm Max from the 2 Point Conversion podcast, and going away from the Dally M medal and the premiership, but my bold prediction is that Brandon Smith will be an absolute flop for the Sydney Roosters.
That's huge.
And
Enormous.
Emil's face.
Oh.
It's-
Look,
All right, let's get started. Gloves
Just-
off.
but
Let's go.
in saying that, he didn't have a good second game in the trial. That's, yeah, not an 80-minute player.
Definitely not an 80-minute player.
No,
I got
no.
so much heat for saying that on TikTok too. Everyone was blowing up, but he hasn't played 80 ever.
That's right.
He struggled for New Zealand when he tried.
That is true.
Yeah. I struggle to see how he fits in with the Roosters system. Like, what he was doing at Melbourne was fine, but the Roosters, he has to be that solo man, and I just don't think he has it in him.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they'll change their system a little bit. Maybe use him as a lock forward when Turpin comes on. Give Radley a rest. Just rotate those 3 around. Who knows?
Fair enough.
You know. Hopefully he could just run hard and get meters.
So I think Zane's been called out with draft time. He's taken Ryan Pappenhausen. First pick.
Ryan
Okay.
Pappenhausen.
That's right.
Hey, we're okay with it.
And I'm up
Means we get a better
second
player.
on the clock. Second on the clock.
Yeah, well.
Right.
Well, back end of the year, it could come in clutch for him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but
we got a few comments. We got a bunch of comments coming through here. I'm gonna get more. We got the Warriors to make the 8 from 21 the Waz on TikTok, which is bold.
They're my wooden spoon prediction, so I'm going to say no to that one.
Yeah,
I think
too.
Dragons. There's so
Dragons.
much going on at the Dragons at the moment,
Yes.
and it's all negative.
All negative.
So
All right, maybe
just
maybe
can't.
this is a bit bold, but I think there are 7 teams that could win the spoon, and I would not be surprised at all, to be honest. I feel like there is a mix there where a couple of them could do a bit better, even finish outside of the bottom 4, and a couple could maybe do a bit worse than we're expecting.
It's a real half sort of competition, eh?
Yeah, I agree. Well, I would say as well, there are probably 7 teams at most, I think, that can win the premiership, and 7 that could win the spoon. So
Yeah.
I'd have to agree with that.
I agree.
Yeah, we got some shocked reactions to that Pappenhausen pick. Miles, who have you taken? Nathan Cleary, very original.
I took Nathan Cleary.
Oh, yes.
Had to go with Cleary, just with Hines coming in under an injury cloud. Cleary's going to be my set week-to-week captain. I'm going to miss him through Origin, but I think that is the guy that you should be drafting number 1 overall.
Hey guys, did mine go through? I've tried to pick Nico Hines.
Nico,
Yeah,
right.
you will anyway. Yeah, look, I think it is going a bit slow at the moment. I have noticed that.
I'm just nervous.
Because I tried to draft Nathan Cleary like 74 times. I was like clicking like non-stop.
Sam didn't want to miss out.
I got who I wanted, so it's okay. As long as you move that guy up into the screen where he's at the top of your board, you should be good.
It is going really slow though. There must be a lot of drafts on right now.
Oh, is this the day where all of them start?
I find it very.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are doing it today. We did ours on Thursday and Friday.
All right.
All right, who'd you get there? You got Nico Hines.
But
Nicholas
Hayden's up.
Hines.
Nice. Good stuff.
All right, thank you.
Hayden.
Interesting choice there from a guy who thought that Latrell Mitchell was going to win the Dally M. I don't know.
Ooh.
Right?
I'm sticking with Nico. I don't care if he's interviewed there.
Fair enough. He does everything for the Sharks, so I would have taken him as well. Latrell, no offense to him, he can be a little lazy.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
In
I agree.
fantasy, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter though. He's chucking that many try assists to his wingers.
Yeah. And then he can have 3 runs and score 1,000 points.
Which is actually what you're counting on if you pick Latrell. I wonder if he comes to me at number 10.
Oh, doubtful.
Yeah. Might have to get Isaiah Papali instead.
Hayden. Did his go through?
Yeah, it should be. It's going so slow.
It is moving particularly slow.
Mm.
Longy, I see your number 1 pick
Yeah,
there,
Emil's
mate.
up, and you got.
Oh no, it's Joey Manu.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, this is good,
Hayden's gone for Jarome. Hayden's gone for Jarome Hughes.
Jerome Hughes.
Wow. Yeah, so I think everyone's
Yeah.
making the pick. It's just taking the
And-
full minute for some reason.
And Emil's
Yeah,
up on
I
the
like it.
clock now.
You're on?
Bang. Yep. So when you click the name, you just
It may take a while, but yeah.
All right, it's going to give it to you.
Yeah, as long as he's up there.
Surely he's got his Roosters boy.
mate.
One of-
Come
one
on.
of them.
The only one. The only one.
I feel like Brandon Smith is an equal talent to James Blake, surely. Someone should reach for him and leave Teddy for me.
Not according to Max.
No. No, he's gone with Angus Crichton. And there you go.
No,
Emil,
yeah,
James
no,
Tedesco.
no. Jimmy.
Solid. Absolutely rock solid pick.
Have to.
Kills it every year.
Embarrassed if that fell to
Every
5.
Yeah, the Jarome Hughes pick is interesting. At the moment.
I mean, the fullback and the half is there's not many to choose from. So maybe getting in early on a halfback might be a good idea.
Definitely a good idea. But you want someone you can captain here as well at this first
Exactly.
pick. That's
That too.
the most important. Okay, all right, Lomaxwrld. What's he taking?
Auto pick.
I mean, I wouldn't be
Probably.
upset with auto picking Latrell at this point.
Yeah. He might be taking Lomax though, right?
Right?
I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, if you're a true fan,
A true fan. I always love the fan forums. How there's those people who are like, you can't critique the team. If you do, you're not a true fan.
yeah. I mean, I'm a Titan supporter, so I don't know how I can do anything but, really. So I don't know what I'd say if I couldn't critique my team.
You could take,
and your Lord and
Tino.
Saviour.
Well, yeah, there's Tino, but
Then probably AJ Brimson on the way back.
Brimson's been great. He was good in that second trial as well. Pretty consistent.
Do we see Brimson getting a run though?
A run.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Holbrook's already confirmed he's
fullback.
starting. Yeah, Campbell will be coming off the bench.
Fair enough, I guess.
I've actually seen Campbell go pretty highly in some other drafts as well. And
Yeah,
I'm not too
people
sure those
probably
people
don't
know what's going
know
on.
that yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
I reckon
Who's that, Hayden
Kieran
Campbell?
Foran is the perfect signing for the Titans, but I think it's the wrong age for him to be signing for them.
I mean, him and Verrills, I think if they stay fit, they'll be good signings, but both are quite injury prone.
Yeah, I think some people thought the same with Townsend last year, though.
Yeah, I would also argue, though, if
Yeah, 100%.
throughout their careers so far, Foran and Verrills weren't so injury prone, they probably wouldn't be at the Titans right now. But anyway.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, well, it's like so with the Broncos, right? One injury to Adam Reynolds, and they were almost screwed.
Carrigan being out as well. was-
I think Carrigan was the
that didn't
big
help.
one there. Yeah.
Beast.
So Latrell Mitchell off the board.
Oh yeah, who took Latrell?
Got
Lomaxwrld.
Latrell.
Lomax.
Also, what do we think of a primetime podcast, Brisbane Broncos top 4?
No.
Yeah, no,
That's what I expected.
I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah.
I don't see him making finals, to be honest.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah,
Cam
probably not.
Munster off the board. You're up, Max.
Yeah.
Cam Munster gone, huh? Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the halves are going.
She is locally foreign for that one too. Hopefully you get some tips from this one for your draft at home. What do you guys think of Cam Munster there?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I reckon he's pretty spicy. There's a couple of players
Wow.
here.
Injury cloud.
Another pick, I'm
Yeah.
surprised, fell that low.
Munster.
It'd be nice if-
That's another player that can get 1,000 points with 2 runs.
Yeah. I think he said he was complaining about a little injury that he had last year as well. So I think it would be interesting.
Yeah, righto.
If he was playing under an injury last year, he did pretty well. But
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Jeez, this is taking forever to pick.
Mick McIntyre with the biggest prediction as well. Reece Robson to make the New South Wales team. I'd love that.
That's spicy. That's spicy.
That is
That's
a
off
big
the bench.
possibility.
He's in the league.
You'll be at the camp.
Just depends how good Cookie goes.
Oh, Isaiah Papali'i taken. That means, I'm
God.
stoked. I get one of Harry Grant or Damien Cook at hooker. That is.
Oh, good.
That's amazing. Oliver, who do you want, mate?
This is my first draft I've done, so I literally just click to select them and then it's in, right?
Then they get come up
Yeah,
at the
you-
top.
You gotta go
basically.
up and
I click. There's a little button there as well.
There'll be a little hooker thing. Little green box
Oh,
next to his
okay,
name.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
click
it's the
that as well.
position.
You got to do
How do you-
dual. You got to click. Pretty much.
Yeah.
You want
Double
to
click.
scroll down and grab someone you don't want and do that.
Then I'll do it, and I'll just test it out for the first go.
Like
and
a-
then-
Yeah,
Jermaine Asako or something like that.
Yeah, go scroll all the way down to Charlie Staines. He's going to have a really good year.
Don't bring up Jermaine Asako as a Titans fan last year when they played him at fullback.
No.
Sako. He had some runs where he was really good though, but Supercoach, not for real life. I remember that game against was it the Dogs where he destroyed them?
Yes. He's a goal kicker as well. Points there.
I reckon though that'll go down as the biggest mistake in Penrith history is choosing Charlie Staines over Matt Burton.
Oh. Very, very bad.
Yeah,
Who'd you take, Ollie?
Harry Grant.
Nice.
Has it gone through yet?
It will. If you've done what I think you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. People probably scratching their heads at my pick, but it was purely based on points last year.
Give me Damien Cook.
Yeah.
DC.
So now
How slow it is.
you can see on Dan's screen now how slow it's being. So that's okay. So it's going to be the same for everyone.
Let's go.
Yeah, no, I
Keep
reckon Cavalier has to be a standout in that Tigers forward pack.
Definitely. Oh, definitely.
Here's a bold prediction, possibly just because of what sort of went on during last year. I wouldn't be surprised if he was a bit disgruntled throughout the season too, if things aren't exactly going well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as long as he keeps dissing the club, he'll end up as captain one day.
Just
Okay,
like
is
Appy.
this the year the Titans win the comp?
Yeah, mate.
Just came in from Slinky.
Oliver, you should take this one.
No. It's not.
You want to think about that?
No, I'm good. They're not. Sorry.
Do you feel like they'll make the top 8?
No,
Okay.
they won't. They're
Wow.
in
Okay.
the Titans are part of that 7-team group I was talking about that I think are a chance of winning the spoon, to be honest.
Right. Okay. That's fair.
Maybe I'm biased towards my team, but in a negative way. Maybe I'm just.
I was just about to say. At least you're not biased.
Oh, but I think there's two kinds of bias. You could be bias, positive, bias, negative.
Right.
Yeah, no, I feel you. As a Para fan, we had that run of 2 spoons in a row, then 14th, or something like that. And
Will
that was
well, I got a
really
question
easy
for
to be
you.
effective, about 40.
Will they finish above the Dolphins this year?
The Titans, yes,
Yeah.
I'm tipping that they will. If they don't, I'll be quite upset. But yeah, I think they'll do enough to not be Queensland's worst team. So that'll be something.
I think Dolphins get the spoon easily.
Dragons for the spoon.
Yeah. I
A
mean,
lot of people are saying Dragons, which makes me think that
Dragons
it won't
can-
be the Dragons.
yeah, Dragons can pull a good game out of somewhere. Ben Hunt
Dragons
fires,
have
you
to
know.
be the only team that's talking about firing their coach before the season's even started.
That's true. But that could be a positive because you see when teams fire their coaches and they bring in like a stand-in, they do sort of well. Like the Bulldogs last year, got rid of Trent Barrett. Mick Potter came in.
Yeah.
They won a couple of games. Got off the bottom.
Yeah, but that's
Oh, it could
that's
be
where
the same.
The Bulldogs and Manly went wrong in the first place. Fired their previous coaches to bring in Trent Barrett, and they went downhill.
That's true. That's true.
So they put themselves back in the same boat.
The Dragons coach is Griffin, right? Yeah.
Yeah. They're talking about getting the Storm assistant coach.
Jason Riles.
Jason Riles.
that-
Ex-Rooster.
Mitch Moses off the board.
It's one of those things. I'll be interested to see how Anthony Seibold goes with Manly because I feel like it's the case for Trent Barrett and Anthony Seibold because he was absolutely terrible with the Broncos. Where if he'd given a good club like South or like Penrith, he might actually be a decent coach. But given a terrible side that they have to rebuild, that's where they struggle.
Right.
Oh yeah, he's I don't think much of Anthony Seibold at all after the last time he coached. It was just horrendous.
Well, yeah. Well, he was
boys,
good
I got a
for
question.
because of the side he had.
I got a question on my Twitch. Can Rabbits win the comp this year?
So I'm running Bunnies as minor premier pick this year.
Whoa.
I don't
Okay.
know if they're in the comp, but I just reckon they've got the right roster shape. You know, the other teams, Penrith are looking dodgy. The Chooks have injuries already. Para are dodgy. Sharks aren't
Yeah,
a
but
real
see,
legitimate
that's
team.
what we do. We get to games and we lose. Like before we won our last comp in 2014, we were the same thing. 5 prelims in a row, losing all of them, and then we get through and we win the comp. But I just don't know how long a club can keep relying on doing that.
Yeah.
But on what you said, Longy, the other teams around them are not as good as they have been. Like
they either
Roosters
haven't
and-
improved or they've gotten worse. Yeah.
Yeah. There's injuries
The
around.
Roosters have improved. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
but Manu's out for a bit.
The thing for me is, right, the Rabbits didn't make any signings, right? And I love the fact that they're back and their juniors are back in the team they had last year. But they get injuries, they're probably fucked.
Yeah, but you bring in. I really like Isaac Thompson, who comes in on the wing. I think he's a bit of a Greg Mars.
I think winger or centre, he has the potential to win that position of the year if he's given enough time this season.
Yeah,
Look, and I liked Isaiah Tass last year, who they brought in as well. I thought Isaiah Tass was good towards the end of last year. So they're not,
Who are the back 5? Latrell, Johnston, Graham, and then who are on the right side?
Tass
it was Milne and Paulo last year, but thank fuck we got rid of him to the Roosters. Sorry, but
No, I agree. Don't worry. He is.
But Isaac Thompson should be the answer we need. Like, I personally wish they would use Jed Cartwright in the centres a lot more. I just feel like his size, let alone his height, would be pretty unstoppable. But again, he's another one that's always injured.
I feel like you need speed in those positions because centers can just run around other centers easily if they're not as fast as them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen blokes get burned.
I don't know if it's a thing whether we need to start Blake Taff at fullback, Latrell in the centres, but then keep swapping them throughout the game so that no one really knows what's going on. I don't know if that's a viable situation, but yeah, it's an option.
I mean, Latrell in the centers when he played for us was top notch, but he wanted to play fullback.
See, the issue is, right, and Blake Taff is his own player, but when Latrell was suspended for that final series, he came in and was Latrell. And now, because there was no pressure on him, right? But now there's so much pressure on him to live up to being Latrell again that in the couple of games he's played, he hasn't lived up to it at all.
Yep.
I'd say there's a bit of a question mark over Ilias too, I think.
I
got to
like
start
what
really
I've seen.
taking a bit more.
I do like what I've seen, but it's one of those things, right? It's like Luke Brooks. If at the moment it's like Luke Brooks, if someone better comes along, well, then you've got to go with the someone better, right?
Kind of like the Roosters did to Flanagan.
Yeah. I don't know.
I was sad when that happened. I was because he was playing okay. And then they just dropped him out of nowhere, and it's like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah,
just shut the kids' self-esteem down.
Yep.
No, he wasn't. But we were that year. That's when we had a lot of injuries, right?
Odds on,
that's before
the end of the season, Flanagan gets dropped and Josh Reynolds becomes the starting halfback.
Ooh.
Yes, yes,
you have
absolutely.
2 5'8" in there.
Yeah, but they've
I
been doing
think-
that for ages. Like,
I have to
imagine if
say,
you're the
though-
coach there and the fans are all just begging for Josh Reynolds, not for any real reason. just
Would you
'cause
move
Josh
Burden? Would you move Burden to 7?
Reynolds- Whoa.
No.
Nah.
No.
I
Yeah,
feel
it's-
like right now Josh Reynolds has more experience that it would be better for him to use that experience to play in the 7.
That's fair.
I know
Let's go.
that might sound
Let's go
stupid
through-
because Matt Burton's an Origin player, but
Guys, let's go through round 1 while we're drafting as well. I'm just going to chuck up
Yeah.
each game on here. So Eels v Storm first. Quick show of hands. I guess just blurt it out. But who are you tipping in this one?
Melbourne.
Yeah, Melbourne.
Eels.
Eels.
Of course you are, Logan. Of course you are. I mean,
No,
actually, no, with no Pappenhausen there, you don't never know there.
yeah.
And we got no Lane though. And we've got no Madison. Like, both teams have so many injuries. They've lost Kamika Mika. Who else they
Welch
lost?
coming back off an Achilles injury.
Honest
Yeah.
opinion on Josh Hodgson.
I think he's the signing of the year. And no, look, he's. I think
No,
Reed
you're in
Money's a
trouble.
little overrated, and Hodgson's a little underrated. I think the gap is less than people are saying.
I gotta be
He's
honest, though.
serviceable.
When,
Well,
when
last-
your options are Hodgson or Mitch Rain, I feel like you're in a lot of trouble.
The last time Hodgson played a full season, he was one of the best hookers in the comp. It's just been 10 years, so let's see.
Yeah. Well, it
If
could
he
be the
plays a
buy of
full
the year
year,
if he stays
then-
fit and healthy.
So you're saying there's a chance, right?
It's a chance.
Stay healthy,
There's
yeah.
a chance, but the Eels aren't getting back to the big dance.
Hey, we've seen it. Put it that way. It's been seen before.
Yeah.
Oh, Adam Dewey goes off the board here. So you got Adam Dewey, Val Holmes, Cam Murray, Joey Manu, Mitch Moses have all gone off the board. I think the Dewey pick is spicy. Like, there's a lot of upside in that.
Oh, who picked Murray? Murray's gone as well.
Yeah, I
Murray
think
went,
still at 13.
Murray was my number 2.
Murray actually went to a guy who dropped a comment on the original video and got in because he got the most likes. So,
Oh, nice.
a guy named Ryan.
Nice.
Fair enough.
On him.
So we got him and Daniel Cox, who threw the Warriors prediction up as well. He's the other one who won the spot with his comment.
Nice.
You know what? I don't hate the chances of the Warriors winning, but it's so hard because I feel like they're trying to live up to the expectation of rugby union, and they never do.
Well, let's go Warriors v Knights. That's a good segue. Around the ground, guys. Who are you tipping for this one?
I'm
Warriors.
actually going to go a draw.
If Ponga plays 6, Warriors will run over him, and Warriors will win.
Yeah.
I'm
How many
going
tackles is Ponga going to miss in that game?
He cannot defend. I'm sorry, but he can't.
That's true, but
It
the
just
Knights
it
are
is
going
what
to
it is.
win. And I'll tell you why the Knights are going to win. Because they now
Okay.
have one Roosters player, and that's one more winner than the Warriors have. So that'll
Oh,
be
he
enough.
might not be there come round 1. So we'll see.
I got to go Newcastle as well because I never tip the team that I'm tipping to win the wooden spoon until they start showing me otherwise. I actually tipped the Cowboys to win the spoon last year, though. So hey, Warriors fans,
How'd that go?
well, Warriors
How
fans
did
out
that
there,
go?
that could be a very good time.
So you
If
have the
I'm
Warriors
being
come last.
If I'm being legitimate for picking a winner in this game, I would say Newcastle and Golden Point.
Fair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Is it
Jack-
Who's kicking it?
Jackson
Hastings?
winning field goal.
Also, is it just me or have the Warriors and Knights versed in the first round for like 5 of the past 6 years, and it always seems to be in one of those stud time slots, and it's the game most people are least hyped about for round 1. I swear they played at least a couple of times in round 1 in recent years.
Yeah.
I could be completely wrong, but because I think it might have been the the year COVID hit, I think they might have versed in round 1 in Newcastle, and that was the day the Warriors found out that they would have to be going home and wouldn't be able to partake in the competition. And then obviously the comp shut down for a couple months and they worked it out. But yeah, I think
Look,
it was
I can't give the Warriors enough raps for doing what they've done over the last few years,
Yeah.
like coming over here and
100%.
playing. Like, I almost think that we should give them more home games than they're entitled to this year as like recompense. You know, because
That's fair.
they've
That's
had
true.
to play over here.
100%.
Like,
I mean, they lost to the Titans at home.
It says the Kiwi.
They
They got to
lost.
come to Christchurch more, but they don't. So I can't support them.
Well, I know that the Dogs. I think the Dogs are apparently all their home games that they've taken to New Zealand. They're still their home game, obviously, but they're giving all the proceeds to the Warriors for those 2 games.
That's good. Yeah. The West Tigers are doing it. I know that as well.
Dill bags and drink water off the board.
Couple of spicy ones. Yeah.
Water.
Mm.
Who would you guys
that's
rather,
right.
Jordan Brown or Scott Drinkwater?
Based on where the clubs are at the moment, probably Scott Drinkwater.
Okay, Dill Bags. Best
Yeah,
stats.
Dylan Brown.
Oh, really? Trust the Eels fan to go Gilbacks.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with the Para thing. I drafted Dylan
That's
Brown last year.
non-biased,
Bunch
of
comps.
course. Non-biased, of course.
We got some tips in the comments here too. So Dan Cox obviously goes for the Waz because his name on TikTok is 20 on the Waz. We got Primetime Podcast. He's gone Eels and Knights so far. He's taken the bye to beat the Dragons as well.
Yeah.
Zach McDonald's done the same joke with the bye.
Trust the Dragons. They'd be the Dragons would be the one team that lose to the bye.
Well, they might not kill the 17 at the rate they're losing players to fights and more charges.
Yeah.
I think if based off of the preseason games, you couldn't have picked a better team to have the bye the first week. It's almost as if, obviously, this isn't how they planned it, but it's almost as if, you know what, the Dragons were that bad during the preseason. They need an extra week. Just give them the extra week. Just give them a free 2 points. Just give them a head start. And
Well,
See if they
you
can
know,
get hope.
You know how the Dragons did that poll about name changing?
did they?
I
they
threw
do.
up the suggestion
Yeah,
they
yeah,
should rebrand to the St. George Illawarra Inmates, but that didn't go down too well.
I voted for St. George Illawarra Retirement Home. I thought that was
Yeah.
pretty decent.
They cancelled the poll because too many people voted Dragons McDragon's face. Isn't that what people usually do on name change polls or naming polls? Something McSomething face.
Yeah.
Voting at both face.
What about they just signed Paul Turner, huge.
That's
Huge
actually
signing.
a big signing. Yeah.
As a Titans fan, I am a little bit let down with that because he did have some hype at the Warriors, and to be honest, let's just say Foran goes down or it doesn't work out with Tana Boyd starting. I wouldn't have mind seeing something
Sexton.
different first. Well, Sexton, yeah, but I would have liked to see something different first before maybe going back to Sexton because that didn't work out last year. So I would have been open to seeing something different. And I know Paul Turner did play a little bit, but I don't know. I thought he probably deserved to be he's probably in the same position at the Dragons now than he would have been at the Titans. So, but then again, Justin Holbrook's he's let a few players go from the Titans that were head scratchers. Marzu most recently, and he tore it up in that trial for Newcastle, which I'm a bit upset about. And then, of course, the year before, after making the finals, he let our halfback go to Canberra and he made the finals with them. So that was nice.
You guys are dropping Marzu all the time. So,
Yeah,
Joe
but I
Tarpany
don't think
goes
they
off
should have been.
we got Blue Water Sports Fishing loves Jackson Hastings, I think. And
Signing of the
here's one for
year.
you, Emil. Roosters getting the spoon again. Too many injuries.
Again, when have we got it? When was it?
It was a while ago, hey?
A little
2009.
while, yeah. Over 10 years ago.
Was it 10?
No spoon. Yeah, 2009?
Yeah, 09.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, that's true. They've won the spoon before, so they technically would be winning it again.
Right.
That's
But
great
no.
from that last year. So, but no.
No.
What do you think, Emil?
That won't happen for a very long time. With this, like, how many injuries do we have to get for us to get the spoon? What, 17 players have to be injured?
Look, I thought
get the spoon.
you guys had your injury year like a couple of years ago when you nearly
That's
lost
right.
to the Titans. Week
We
one
did.
of the
We did.
finals.
We did. But
So
my thing on the Roosters is I don't like how we've got two small halves.
Yeah.
Two small halves that just get run over every game. Like Sammy Walker puts his body on the line. They both put their body on the line, but it's just you need one big one small one, just to balance it out a bit.
And Cleary, Kiri now you just have to blow on him. and
Monitor,
concussion,
yeah,
right?
exactly,
Yeah.
and that's.
Can
I
we
was-
confirm
I
that
hope-
he's
I was
actually
hoping-
checked out of hospital yet.
Yeah, well, we
Has
don't
he?
know that. We don't know that. But again, with him, I was hoping they got rid of him and we got Munster or something instead of Brandon Smith.
Just go and get Munster.
Yeah,
Well, apparently, Kiri's on his last year of his contract this year, and it's like a back end. All the money's on his back end, so he's on like $1.2 million this year. And if he gets injured, that's like what a waste of money that is. We could have just gave it to Munster.
But the
Or
problem
you
is,
could see it as easy money, for Kiri.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, for him, yeah. Just go down with the head knock. Oh, I can't play anymore.
Oh, it's all right. Uncle Nick's got some deep pockets. I'm sure he'll,
Oh, mate. Everybody with their Roosters sombrero. We got the best third parties in the competition, all right?
100%. Yeah.
I got a question for you then on Kiri. Will Kiri retire from too many head knocks this season from Zach?
No, Zach.
Well, how much does he only needs like one or two more and then he's gone. So it could be possible. It could be. If Boyd Cordner and Jake Friend had to retire and they have big bodies and big players, if Kiri gets knocked out one or two times, I don't think he'll come back. Because what is it? It's 4 in a season and you're done?
I think.
Something
Well, I
like
think he's pretty much down to his last one at this point. He's got to be.
Exactly.
So I don't think they're going to let him get it knocked in the head 4 times this year. No way. But,
That's right.
I don't like predicting that injuries are going to happen, but what I will say is if it does, it's a real shame because I think there was a stage there where Luke Keary was the best 5'8" in the competition. After sort of heading into 2019, after that amazing performance in the 2018 Grand Final, which I know a lot of people do say that, but Cooper Cronk was there telling him what to do. Well, Luke Keary was doing it and was the best player in that Grand Final by far. And the Roosters dominated a Melbourne Storm team that a lot of people were tipping to win that comp easily, and a lot of people were tipping to win that game easily. So I think sort of late 2018 for most of 2019 as well, even though Tedesco got a lot of the raps, won the Dally M medal, I think Luke Keary was the best 5'8" in the comp at that time. I'd say he was better than Munster.
I agree.
Anyone else at the time?
Well, I find it hard to say that Luke Keary needed teaching off Cooper Cronk. Like, I know we had multiple people, but he was one of the sole reasons the Rabbits won in 2014.
That's true. Very true. I agree with that too. Yeah, I don't like when people say that Cronk was telling him what to do. Like, wasn't telling him what to do. Might have been telling the other players what to do and where to stand and where to go. But I don't think he was telling Keary what to do.
Well, what was supposed to happen was Cooper Cronk supposed to be given the Clive Churchill medal for talking to people the whole game and telling them what to do. You can't get a Clive Churchill medal for that. I'm sure the advice he was giving was great, but
that's right. I think when players like that are just on the field, their presence just brings up other players. I don't even think he really needed to say anything.
Definitely.
It's just him being on the field is what the other players are. Because there was not a documentary, but an interview between Takiaho and another player I can't remember, and they were saying on that day or the week of when he said that he was going to play, all the boys just revved up and they were just ready to go. Like, they were ready to play and ready to win. So just him being on the field was probably why we won.
Yeah. Turbo is a massive steal there. You got Turbo and Trbojevic. Trbojevic and Garrick on the turn there, Darlo.
Oh, look, I don't like that for the bye round, but
Yeah, it's tough in the bye round.
It could be tough. Man, we're going to get some
that's the super interesting thing this year, dealing with the bye round.
Yeah, that's annoying. They should have brought 2 teams in. or got rid of one and
Bears.
got one in.
North Sydney Bears.
Nah, Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea, give them a team.
That,
New Guinea?
you know what? Yeah.
PNG for sure.
That-
They're coming from Ados the Great, who is drafting from the car here. He's driving from Sydney to Brisbane today. He's got plenty of time for this draft. So,
You got a long drive, mate.
and Blue
I got a
Water,
question for you guys.
You go, yep.
What do you guys think of the salary cap? Do you think we shouldn't have one?
The new one, or
No, just the salary cap as a whole. Like should we just make it like soccer? Just get rid of it.
Because I look at it exactly the same, right? Like if it turns into like an EPL situation, you've got like one team or potentially 4 teams with the most money just looking to win the comp every year. And yes, the Roosters are one of those teams I'm talking about. They'd essentially be the Man City of the comp, as far as I'm concerned. But then you kind of lose it to other teams that probably won't get as much funding behind them. See, I think Penrith would actually do really well. Like, just their area, their junior system is phenomenal as well. It's the best in the country. So,
Yeah, we got a few
Titans
comments saying
struggle.
I only say I have this conversation with a lot of people. I don't think we should have one. Not because the Roosters are the richest club or whatever. It's just because players nowadays are asking for money without playing for it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So they're not playing for their money. They're asking for the money, then playing for it. You got to play for that $1 million contract, and there's no players that are worth $1 million to me.
The issue
Except
with
Wow.
for Cleary and Teddy. Cleary, Teddy, those caliber of players, they're the only ones that should be getting over $1 million a year. Everybody else should not be getting that money. There's not enough money in the game to pay those players. Oh yeah, the TV rights and whatever, they give them all this money, but it shouldn't be like that. It should be you play for your money, you play for your contract.
if there wasn't a salary cap though, there
and I
would be
agree with
teams more susceptible to going broke and having to fold though. That's the thing. The salary cap is also sort of a limit, so that certain teams who probably don't have the funds. I mean, Manly's owner is Scott Penn or Sean Penn has come out in multiple times and said that the club's nearly gone broke. So I think if you are gonna get rid of the salary cap, there needs to be something in place to make sure certain teams. It'll be weird because it's not limiting how much you can spend on players, but something in place to ensure that certain teams don't go broke. Because when COVID hit as well, the Warriors, I'm pretty sure it was, came out, and it might have even been the Dragons said as well that if the competition didn't return, that they'd go broke in a year if they missed a season of playing footy, right? So,
right,
yeah.
I
so
think
my counter, like my argument for that, this is another big thing. Like, make 2 competitions, right? So you got your top 8 teams, the richest clubs or whatever, and then you got your bottom 8 teams.
Relegation.
Yeah, of course. And then you got New South Wales Cup and Queensland Cup.
Yep.
They don't make them feeder clubs anymore. Like, they're their own clubs, and then put them in a 3rd tier competition. So they're a 3rd tier competition that can make the 2nd tier competition that then can make the 1st tier competition.
It's a good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Redcliffe came out of nowhere. Like, they're their own club. You know.
Yeah.
It just means that a team can get the funds to become an NRL team.
Yeah.
I think
it's how you progress. It's how you come up from like teams like Leicester City in the EPL won out of nowhere after coming up from the championship the year before.
Exactly. Yeah.
Some teams go on a really hot run, whether it be bottom 3 or 4 teams that we, relegate.
Yeah.
Tigers would be down in reserve grade this year.
Right. And then if there is no salary cap, it gives rich people, if you would say, like Nick owns the Roosters, right? I think Hugh Jackman at one point wanted to buy the Manly club. You got Russell Crowe that owns the Rabbitohs. Like, it'll give people like that an incentive to go and buy a team because they know that they are in control of who they buy and who they could get and how much money they can spend on players, right? So that whole thing about clubs won't survive. Well, they might have a billionaire in the background that wants to buy the club, but they don't want to do it now because of the salary cap, and there's no point for them to buy them. You know. So
just to your point,
it's one of those things where the sport needs to take off in another country like America, I think, because a lot of shit gets really overproduced there, but it's good for marketing and everything. But they just haven't seemed to crack that. And we've got a great brand. Like the sport is a great brand of sport, and I think Americans would love it, but it's just not. Yeah, the marketing or the incentive isn't there at the moment.
And that is because of a salary cap, I feel. Honestly, I feel like if there was no salary cap, it'll be open game. It'll be open just to whatever, whatever. If the first couple of years that there's only 4 teams that are really in competition for it, so be it. But then it'll just give other clubs to build and try to find owners and investors and people to come in and say, hey, we need millions here. We've got to buy players.
I just on your
maybe I'm saying that because I've got we've got one of the richest people in the game, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
To your promotion relegation point though, one of the reasons why I'm actually like a supporter of it is one of the biggest changes it would make is there would be so many more games in both divisions that mean something, that people have a reason to go out of their houses to actually go and watch or to build ratings. You think about it, okay, you're not only got teams in the hunt for the top, whatever it is, if it's a top 4 or a top 8, and because there are less teams in the comp, there are more teams battling for that. But you've also got the relegation battle, and then
exactly,
you've got the battle for promotion. They could even gimmick it so that it might not be last and second last instantly get relegated, but last and the second last team versus the team who finished second in the comp below or something. So you have it's like a set game, so it's like a playoff to be in the NRL next year. And so I think it's good for that. But again, it would take years of planning because they'd have to sort of restructure all the club licenses as well, because the NRL clubs are licensed to the NRL. So I don't know how long that goes for, but structuring it so there's a year where it's okay, the licenses are sort of ending this year, so we can plan in 3 years is when we're going to have our season where teams can get relegated, and that'll give clubs enough time as well to break apart their feeder relationships and for those feeder clubs to work out or to prove to the NRL that they're viable enough to start off in that second competition so that they can actually be included as a part of it. So I'm definitely a big fan of it, but the planning stage would unfortunately have to come far before it would start. So I'd say if, let's say, Peter V'landys and Andrew Abdo started planning it today, we probably wouldn't see it hypothetically until 2029, right? But yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah. So what they would need to do is stop worrying about changing the rules and start thinking about doing this.
Yeah, well, they've already started talking about obviously conferences, right? So, and that could also be an incentive, but I feel like you get a bit more, as I said, fan intrigue and fan interest in actual games if you introduce promotion relegation. And also I think you need time to plan it too, because you don't want your teams in the second division, let's just say if NRL teams do get relegated, you don't want them to be any worse off than you are now. You want to sort of build it over the next few years so that the NRL competition teams will be better off than they currently are. And where everyone currently is now in terms of financially, they're not going to be any worse off if they drop down. And this is sort of the baseline for that second division, and then teams can only go up from there if they're in the NRL.
Right. It's a good chat about the salary cap. That's a good one.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely an interesting topic.
Yeah.
But I do think something needs to change if we are to progress forward as a game and a brand. So whether it be changing the rules of the salary cap, or they seem to be very fixated on rules and things like that. It seems to take precedence rather than building a global game.
Yeah, it's just my big thing about the salary
which is why
players.
Yeah, which is why I think that Samoa making the World Cup final was huge.
Yeah,
as well.
definitely
For the game.
Yeah, but it's just again my biggest thing about the salary cap is that players are not they're not playing for their contracts. You know, you got players like David Fafita on $1.2 million, and he played 5 good games for Brisbane, and he hasn't played a game like that since. You know,
Well, he's just come off the board, so
yeah, take him.
It's
all good, no
It's
problem.
honestly, it's like Joseph Suwali.
Yeah, that too.
Oh, yeah.
Like that, like, you know, giving players like that contracts over $1 million a season. It's like, that's wrong. That's not right. He's 19 years old. Like, he hasn't even played yet. You know? And then they're talking
Like,
about giving
if you want to
1
fuck off
one
out
point,
of the Rabbits, that's fine. Leave.
right.
Yeah, if you want to leave the Rabbits, leave. But you don't sit there and go, "Oh, I'm worth the same as Josh Adokar."
No, exactly. That's right. Who's another player? There's another one. Mitchell Moses. Parramatta want to give him 1.1, and then Tigers want to give him 1.3. Mate, he hasn't won a comp. He hasn't won a State of Origin game. He's played for Lebanon. He hasn't played for Australia. Like, what do you mean $1.3 million a season? He's going to be paid. He's going to be getting more money than Tedesco and Cleary. Like, that is mind baffling to me.
Yeah.
He shouldn't. It's not.
Yeah.
Clubs need to grow some balls.
But I
say
also
you're
don't
worth
like.
this much. Sorry, Max, you go.
Yeah. I also don't like that they. No, that's right. I don't like that they don't like each position is worth more. Like if you're good enough, like Josh Adokar, for example, he can't get paid that $1 million because he's a winger, he's a centre, whatever. But if he was playing fullback, he could get closer to that. Like if you're good enough, you should be able to get whatever you're worth.
Yeah.
Boys, cutting in. See, I was on mute before trying to talk, so I feel like an idiot. Mitch Moses, he's being offered 1.4 now, apparently.
From the
And
Tigers?
we got a comment, we got a comment from Blue Water Sports Fishing. Why is rugby union more popular than rugby league internationally? Which is an interesting question.
If you ask Emil, it's all salary cap based.
So blow up the cap, and the fans will come.
But does Union have a cap? They have a cap, right?
Yeah, you mean like Super Rugby and things like that?
Yeah, don't they have salary caps all around the world?
But that's also played across 3 countries as well. So like, they've got like South Africa. It's huge in South Africa, rugby union. So
yeah.
Did
Union start first?
Yeah, as well. And then there was a couple of people who said it was kind of like religion, first. Right? Yeah, kind of like religion. You know, people just didn't like what was being said or told, and they kind of just went off and did their own thing.
Right, the religion.
There you go.
In terms of union being more popular in rugby league in certain countries as well, I know France in particular is one. If you want to go back and look, but for a while there, rugby league was actually growing exponentially in France. Right, France actually came up with the Rugby League World Cup and hosted the first ever World Cup, and it's pretty cool that we're getting one there for the next World Cup, right? But rugby league was growing, and I guess the talent pool over there was growing. But then, because of the influence of rugby union, now I don't want to explain exactly what, because I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I know there was at least allegedly rugby union having a little bit of influence with the government to cut a lot of rugby league's funding. And I think that's happened in a couple of countries before as well, going through historically, where rugby league has actually been getting some hype sort of around the 40s and 50s time. But because rugby union was already established, they sort of had that influence to talk to the right people and get funding cut for rugby league so that it wasn't given a chance to grow anymore and was sort of snuffed out. I know that was at least the case for France. So I think that's one of the reasons why rugby union's more popular internationally than league, because rugby union sort of had the say-so to stop rugby league from growing essentially for a little while there.
And Longy looks like he's taking Matt
how does rugby union and rugby league
So you go on.
Or Matt Burton pick. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, yeah.
Max.
No, let's go back to the draft here and just talk through some of these picks.
Yeah.
So we're up to. Let's go back to. So Jermaine Hopgood was picked at 22, which is ballsy. I'm gonna say.
Wow.
Then we go through. We got Daly Cherry Evans, good pick. Tino is spicy. He could take the lead this year. He could be really good. He plays both dual positions as well.
Yep.
Reece Robson, nice pick there. Gutho Fafita, the exploiter of the salary cap. Sean Lane, which is risky. Johnston, Isaiah Yeo, then Matty Burton. So, yeah, I was just looking at the hookers and the 5'8s, just thinking there's not that many 5'8s left.
I was lining up Matty Burton. I'm surprised he fell that far.
You could take Cody Walker now.
Stop talking about people that I'm thinking about picking.
I'm only saying it because he's a Souths fan, so he's going to take Cody Walker.
Yeah. He could flop like he did last year, but
there are no halves left.
Also, we got Winston coming in to defend himself here. Hopgood, that low was a steal. I was going to take him earlier, but he knew Darlo wouldn't. Darlo's obviously a Manly fan, taking Turbo and Garrick.
Nice, good job. Love it, Winston. Love the confidence.
Anyway,
He
back
does
to what I was saying
look like an
earlier.
absolute
It's a
weapon.
matter of for rugby union and rugby league, it's not so much. It's a matter of how they compete with rugby sevens. Because you look around the world, rugby sevens packs out every stadium it goes to, and if I'm being honest, the Rugby League World Cup in England was, crowd-wise, it wasn't really that great. Like, and it's like, I've heard people say, whether it's league or whether it's union, on like TikTok and stuff like that they go to the crowd to support England, and they're getting up and they're cheering and they're saying "Go England," or they're saying "Piss off to the enemy," and people are turning around from their own country telling them like, "Sit down, just watch the game," and it's losing a lot of its, I guess, nostalgia.
Yeah, English fans are crazy.
Yeah,
No.
and so I attended the World Club Challenge at Penrith that just happened the other week, and as we were going through the crowd,
Yeah.
to get to where we were, we walked through the St. Helens fans that were there, and they started up the "Oh When the Saints" chant as we were going through, and there would have been 500 of them there, but you could hear it throughout the whole stadium. And I live in the Penrith area, so I go to a fair few Panthers games, and like you've never seen anything like that at a Penrith game before, right? But it's just that culture. To be honest, I'd love if there was a bit more. If there was a bit more of that over here, like the singing and the actual chants. Like I know teams have their chants, but they're like the vanilla kind of just bog standard swimming carnival chants, right? Like it's.
No, speak for yourself. We've got some pretty creative ones at Parramatta. We've got Para, clap, clap, clap.
They play that
and
over.
we've got Sevo.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah,
they
I
do
think
play it over the
I've
speaker.
been to Eels games before where they've played that, like the chant over the loudspeaker. But you know what? To be fair, that Sevo chant, that's like one of the only kind of creative. That's like the extent to which the NRL has creative chants, and it's literally just saying Sevo's name over and over again. So,
Yeah, not a creative bunch out in Para. I've heard.
Wow, Miles. How about the Cowboys? What have they got?
Oh, we can sing a couple of old Bon Jovi songs.
Yeehaw.
We've got Northern Viking King, Raiders 2023 Grand Final winners. Confident.
Long shot.
maybe I don't usually watch NFL until the playoffs, right? But maybe he means the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm not sure because I don't.
They're not any better. They're not any better.
I was
now.
about to say, they're not looking much better.
Cody Walker off the board. Max, I'm not surprised at all.
Let's go.
I think
Yeah,
Longy's baited you into that one.
I'm honestly surprised that I got him that far down.
Yeah, he's pretty far down the list. Not gonna lie.
The halves are disappearing.
I mean, we've got a very confident Jackson Hastings fan in the comments here, and he's still available.
What are you talking about,
Sorry.
Emil? Kiri and Sam Walker are still there.
Yeah, I don't know about them though. I need someone a bit better. If Walker can kick a bit harder, then maybe yeah. He just can't kick the goals.
It's gonna be spicy because with 20 teams, but every half has to be taken, and then a bit more than that. So someone's gonna have to start with like Jaden Sullivan or something, like
Katoa. What's his name? Not Katoa.
Yeah, Katoa definitely.
Chad Townsend.
Oh, Ilias is still there.
Or even like there's a few guys later in the draft. Luke Metcalf,
Ben Hunt's still there.
Oh, Metcalf is a big loss for the Warriors. I think he would have had a big year if he's
100%
started. Yeah.
Totally agree.
Now they got old leg Sean Johnson out there, and he's
you keep Shawnee though. Keep Shawnee. You ditch Tamari Martin. He's a perennial, teammate, wife sleeper, an average player. And I still haven't forgiven him for taking Trent Merrin's misso all those years ago.
He's poor Tamare. He's
not
come
not
back
gonna lie, Chad
blood clot on the
Townsend's still
brain.
on the
He's had to cop shit from you.
Nah, he's an alright player.
It's the most positive thing you've said about him in 2 years. He's all right.
Adam Reynolds, is he gone for a little while? He's gone for a little while, isn't he?
Yeah, I've heard he's got an injury, shoulder.
Yeah, shoulder.
Oh, but he's always carrying
He's
injury.
injured, but he's on the board still.
Expected to be available round 1 or 2.
He has that
Chad
injury prone
Townsend's still
tag
there.
now though.
Yeah.
Love Chad.
Yeah.
Chatty Daddy. He's getting it done.
I mean,
we are
Luke Brooks is there if anyone wants him.
Oh, we're 100% not going to finish this draft, guys. I'm just putting it out there. How slow it's going, like it would be like a 10-hour stream. So we'll probably have to end the stream and then maybe keep doing it on our phones and do a review later or something like that. I've still got a bit of time in me.
Yeah, I got a bit.
We got Sam back as well.
Hey guys, yeah, sorry about that. I'm back. Thank you.
Yeah, back just in time to make his
just in time.
just in time to make his pick.
We picked away. I was hearing you guys talking about Luke Metcalf, and that was actually one of the videos I posted recently, and it was probably my most popular one. And people were shitting on it, saying he should be starting in the team.
Definitely starting.
Yeah,
You got a lot of people who agree with you right here.
Yeah.
Interesting. But he's out now, so we'll see what happens. For Warriors fans.
What is it? 8 weeks?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 8
Oh.
weeks. Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Let's go next game, round 1. Panthers and Broncos. Just shout out your pick. Who are you taking here?
Panthers.
Panthers.
Really hard to not.
I think I'm going to go with the upset here and pick
Oh,
Broncos and
That's
Selwyn
good
Cobbo to score 2 tries. First try and last try to win the game.
at fullback.
At
Yeah.
fullback, yeah, at fullback. Yeah. I just think he's going to be an absolute machine. Maybe not this year, but in his career, he'll just have that good career, I feel.
Oh yeah,
He'll just shine. He'll just shine. And like when Latrell first started and when Greg Inglis first started, he'll be the same. He'll be the same.
Yeah, he's a freak.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Exactly the same as Latrell as well.
Yeah.
Probably better than Latrell at that age. Almost.
Yep. Bigger. He's bigger. Latrell was he was big, but not as big as he is now, obviously.
The Trolls on
Cobbo
a better
is
tricky side as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, whereas Cobbo's had to do it at Brisbane. It's a bit harder.
yeah.
So
Ooh,
Big House Sport took AJ Brimson. For anyone who doesn't know, Big House Sport is the biggest Titans fan on the planet. Like, I actually reckon he's the number one Titans fan.
Yeah.
So not surprised at all. Have you seen his content? He's diehard. He's the guy with the drum
is.
at the stadium.
He is.
Hudson Young on 35.
That was an auto pick. I looked at that.
Yeah,
So
now
bad one.
Emil's back.
Yep.
Don't do it.
Who are you taking? Who are you taking? Tell us.
Tommy Deedon.
Oi.
Oh,
Sorry, Miles.
wow.
Sorry,
Yes.
Sam.
Wow.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. I've had to pick a good half that's going to score some points. It was either Fogarty or him. So maybe him first and then number 7. I don't know who.
I reckon O'Sullivan is sneaky, to be honest.
Does he goal kick? Yeah, he
Yeah,
probably does.
well,
Eh?
Yeah, O'Sullivan goal kicks, 100%.
But
Osako?
Or Osako,
Or
yeah.
does Isako? Yeah.
Yeah, Saka, I think.
Oh, it's so sad seeing Taylor May sitting there.
I know.
I would have been drafting him so hard.
Unlucky.
Yeah. Did you see
Yeah.
Ivan Cleary cried for compensation because of all the injuries?
He cries every year.
No, did he? That's a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
come
asked the
on.
NRL for compensation because they got injuries. I'm like,
yeah,
you got
How
3
many
injuries
injuries
at the
do they
moment.
have?
Every club has had worse.
Bro, everyone has injuries, man.
3.
Yeah.
He's got nothing.
Yeah, 3.
I'm sorry. I hate Penrith. I
Yeah,
can't stand them. I can't.
me too. But everyone
Yeah.
just jumps on me if I ever post anti-Penrith because I'm always wearing a para jersey.
Yeah.
It's just-
That's,
Yeah.
I hate us because of last year.
I can't stand.
But no, even when the Roosters had like 18 injuries, they didn't get compensation, did they?
No, mate. No way.
They don't
We
need
don't do that.
compensation though because they got
I know.
unlimited salary cap.
Exactly.
No,
Exactly.
but compensation as in extra players outside the 30.
That's right. No, we didn't.
Oh, you did?
No, we didn't.
Oh, right.
I reckon you should. Like that whole top 30 rule, I think is garbage because Jacob
Yeah.
Kraz came in last year and he was kept out because of that 30 rule. And if the guy's signed to the club, just let him play. I get that's a bit annoying with salary cap.
There he is. I didn't believe him. Tom Deere.
The biggest,
I'm here.
I think the biggest impact the top 30
Yeah.
rule may have had on anyone is Caleb Bacon's, and here's why. Panthers and Raiders play over in England now, of course, but in 2019, of course, that season where Dylan Edwards was having an absolute shocker and he got dropped, Caleb Bacon's, when he got put in the Panther side, was when they actually started winning and he was playing really well, but he could only play a certain, I forget how many games it was, but a set amount of games because he was outside of the top 30. And once he'd reached the limit, he had to go back to reserve grade and Dylan Edwards had to come back in. And then obviously the rest is history. Edwards finds his form and stays in the side, and 2020 and 2021 and 2022 happen. And Caleb Bacons goes to the Raiders, where I thought he was good when he was filling in for Nickel Hookstad at the start. And then he's ended up over in England now. So if that top 30 thing was not a rule and Caleb Bacons was still there, who knows? He could have done his ACL the next week, but like the way that things have turned out is quite interesting.
Yeah. And now Dylan Edwards is the most underrated player in the comp every season. So
Daniel Tupou.
Oh, Tupou? He's all right. He was so average in Origin, though.
Yeah. But see, but that
Should have never been there.
Oh. Yeah, probably not. But yeah, probably not. But that just comes back to the top 30 thing. That just comes back to what? the salary cap.
Yeah.
Right? If there's no salary cap, there's no top 30. And then you can,
Emil,
you know,
Emil,
just
you
kind
made
of...
a long video about this salary cap thing before.
No, I
or
haven't.
is this-
I haven't. No, I haven't.
Yeah, that's brewing. That's brewing right now.
I know.
I think what
Cut
we
it all
need,
up together and put it together.
we need
We
to
could never
start.
set up a separate debate
Oh.
or something like that.
And another cowboy goes.
Jeremiah Nanai. Also, Northern
think-
Viking King comes in. Me too. I hate the Panthers and the Roosters.
Oh,
I'm
Sam,
sorry,
how
Emil,
we feeling,
you
mate?
keep
Oh,
copping shit
this is-
here.
Oh, mate,
Yeah.
everybody hates us. I get it all the time. And nobody likes us because everyone thinks that we buy comps, but we don't. We're just good management. It's just good
I
management.
think you're good to watch.
That's
I actually really I like the Roosters. Good to watch. I like Manly.
Yeah.
Good to watch.
Here's the
Penrith
thing.
aren't that good to watch.
I like the dominant teams, right? So I'm the opposite of most people. I think when the Roosters were winning 2 comps in a row and that, I absolutely loved watching them. They were one of my favourite teams. I like Penrith. I liked Melbourne. Maybe they're still up there, who knows? But they're dropping down a bit. But I like seeing dominance, and I like seeing teams wipe other teams off the park as well. And I think that a lot of what probably influences me to like these teams is that so many people hate them, and for a lot of people, I think they hate them kind of out of jealousy, right, to an extent, because it's not your team. And if you notice with a lot of teams as well, fans will give them that sort of, when they first, look at Penrith, right? When they first started playing well in 2020, they were that bit of the underdog who had finally started playing well again after so many years of sort of being of mediocrity. But then from probably 2021 onwards, it was like, you've been up here for a bit too long now. And I think it even started happening with the Cowboys a little bit, at least from what I saw towards the end of last year. I saw people starting to make calls of the NRL rigging the comp so that the Cowboys had as many games in Queensland as they could, and the refs are starting to be more lenient to the Cowboys, and just comments like that. So to be honest, I think in the NRL and in most sports leagues as well, if you're a good team,
Now-
you're gonna be hated. So
And
I
now
mean-
Northern Viking has just ripped Para as well.
Oh yeah. Last year should have been Cowboys versus Panthers grand final. I was really on the team with you, Northern Viking King, but I think I might ban you from the channel now. That's slander. That's slander.
I'm surprised
I
that
think
wasn't
it's,
a Raiders.
I think it's
versus
correct.
Cowboys.
But see,
Would have been
going on the Cowboys and Sharks year last year, they didn't beat Penrith, Melbourne, Roosters. They just
No.
beat all the lower teams. They didn't. Everyone thought they had a good year, but they just had a good draw. You know, I think we played Sharks once. We beat Cowboys twice. Melbourne beat them every time. I think the Cowboys beat Para once.
No, we beat Melbourne and we beat Para. We thumped Para.
Yeah,
as well.
pumped Para. I remember that game. Yeah.
It was up in
We didn't beat Penrith.
Oh.
It didn't beat us.
or
They
the
beat us.
Rabbitohs.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Beat us now. Just a quick comment into last year should have been a different team playing the Panthers. Apparently, Big KR Sports last year should have been the Titans v Panthers. grand final.
Of course he
We
said
were
it.
robbed
Of course he said
every
it.
game. Every game.
Every game. Holy moly.
Even the ones they won.
Yeah, even the ones they won.
Do you guys remember that Titans Tigers game?
Yeah, the
It
worst
was like
game of all
8-2
time.
or something like that.
Yeah.
That one was rough watching. I reckon the Titans are kind of my second team. Them and the Tigers, they're my two sort of second teams.
I mean,
But the Titans they changed their style. Like they were the most fun team in the comp to watch for a while there, and they brought it back. In the trials, they were looking exciting again. So
here's the
Yeah.
thing. Last year, I don't think they actually changed their style between 2021 and 2022. They just weren't as good because the Titans have always been horrible defensively. Even in that 2021 season, they were as well. But they're usually good attacking. So how many games last year did they just lose because they came back from 20 points down because they went on a try scoring flurry, or they scored 20 points early but then another team came back and beat them? So they've always been decent in attack and going through 20-minute periods of great momentum where they score 3 or 4 tries, but the defense is that horrible where it's a very fine line. In 2021 it was good enough to get them a spot in the top 8. In 2022, it saw them finish in the bottom 4. So, yeah, I don't think as a Titans fan, I don't think they should have been in the in the grand final. And I need to apologise to players here because I'm reminding him about how the Titans have never had good defense. But
That's what he said. Do me a favor, stop reminding me that we've never had a good defense ever.
they've had good defense maybe 10, 12 years ago, but not in recent years, no.
Do you remember that original Titans team with like Scott Prince and like LaFranchi, Mark
Preston
Minicello,
Oh.
me and Kevin Johnson,
Kevin
David,
Gordon.
Kevin Gordon.
Gordon, that's it. Fastest winger pairing in the game.
Yep.
They were good. That was a fun team. They had Jamal Idris for a bit too, I think.
Scotty Prince.
Well, Prince, Campbell, and Matt Rogers for me have got
Matt
to be
Rogers.
the 3 greatest rugby league players of all time. But
Matty Rogers, good at Survivor as well. Matt Rogers.
that 2010 season where they made it a game away from the grand final and got flogged by the Roosters, who had like snuck into the top 8 that year. That was a bit of a letdown, but that was probably when they were primed. I wouldn't even say to win the comp, even though they were a game away, but maybe to make that grand final appearance and ultimately get flogged by the Dragons, who, if you're a younger viewer and you're thinking, what do you mean get flogged by the Dragons in the grand final? Well, the Dragons were good, very good, like 12 years ago. So, but yeah, I thought, that was a great Titans side, and I thought if there was ever going to be a real push for anything, which I guess making the final 4 teams is a pretty deep push, but it was probably that 2010 side. They've not even come close since.
That's the Todd Carney won Dally M and then went missing in the grand final.
Yeah.
And then
That's
pissed in his mouth.
Well,
Yeah,
in that grand final, the Roosters were winning at halftime, and then the Dragons just literally came out and scored like 26 points in the second half and flogged them.
Yeah.
Like,
that was that's when there was hailing, right? It was storming and they had to stop halftime. They had to.
No, that was the Anzac Day game.
Anzac. That's right. Yes.
We're getting a bunch of questions in the comments, so I'm just going to take over here. First up, we forgot Grimdog Millionaire in that top 3 of all time. Ollie.
Look,
next one. Matty Rogers' field goal against Sharks was the best Titans moment of all time. And Matt Rogers was a
not
great
Jared
player.
Haynes' field goal.
Haynes, the GOAT. Matty Rogers or Ryan Girdler?
Ryan Girdler.
Oh,
Matty Rogers.
Rogers.
Girdler was pretty much just a centre, though.
Yeah, he was just.
Like,
I'd go Rogers just for durability and position.
Yeah,
because he played wing, centre, fullback, 5'8". Like he could do pretty much anything.
yeah, true.
Matty
But
Rogers
Girdler's
is great on
try.
Survivor too, and
Girdler's
that's-
intercept try where he tears his hamstring is one of the best moments of all time.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Oh, that was rough. I got another one then. Another question here. Bit of a segment for us. I reckon we can work our way through the back line.
Right.
Best New South Wales back line of all time. We'll start at fullback. Who's your best fullback of all time for New South Wales? Hard not to say Teddy, right?
If you say Tedesco. No.
Yeah, it's Teddy or Mini, one of them.
Well, I can't say.
No one wants the ragdoll Brett Hodgson.
Oh,
No. Poor thing.
poor. He's a grown man who played it.
So Teddy number one. Teddy number
Teddy.
one.
Right, wing spots. We've got 2 winger spots. You could make a case here for Jared Hayne. Like,
Jared
in terms
Hayne?
of dominant winger performances. In New
He
South
was
Wales.
very good on the wing. I'll
we-
pay that.
I'm gonna say Tamana Tahu. With Matt Gidley in the centers next to him.
Oh,
So the
you got
Knights
that
pairing.
Those two
They
at
wouldn't
that
go-
time were unstoppable.
You wouldn't go Gaznia?
On the other side, with Hayne.
Yeah. Okay.
With Hayne.
Gaznia with Hayne. Yeah. Oh, look, I'll say Latrell and Turbo are pretty good.
Oh, that game was
guys-
unbelievable.
The guys we have
Trot
right
and
now.
Turbo have the highest upside, but have they done enough yet to have that title? Compared to some guys who've done it for more.
It's more a case that they've been able to schedule not being suspended and injured at the same time so that they could play in an Origin series together once, and
Right.
it was great. So, unfortunately, other than that, they've been MIA and unavailable really at the same time for Origins. So, I mean, if they'd both been available for every Origin for the past 3 years, I think there's a good chance that it's possible. But
Yeah.
Also, we got some feedback. Gidley Tahu,
Yep.
Gaznia Cooper,
That's another good one.
and I hate New South Wales.
I hate New South
from
Wales.
North
Just hates everyone at the moment. Hates
he lives in
Penrith.
Canberra, so
Penrith Roosters and New South Wales. Jeez.
So what do we got? We've got
Yeah.
Teddy, Hayne.
dude, does Brett Morris get in the conversation for anyone?
Oh,
No.
wow.
No.
What about
No?
Aquila Uarte?
No.
Josh Morris,
Michael DeVere.
Oi,
No.
Michael DeVere.
Nathan Merritt, the one that never got a shot.
Oh, mate.
Josh,
That was...
Josh Morris
that was a
needs a
bad
shout for how he was able to contain Greg Inglis on multiple occasions.
That's true. That is very
He
true.
was the
Especially the
only
one where
one
he tore
that
his
was the
ACL.
only player New South Wales could put up against Inglis for however long during that whole period. And I mean, Inglis had still scored 2 tries a game, but I mean, like,
So-
stand.
So the Wolfman is out for you. Is that what you're saying?
Unfortunately, David Wilkins.
Yeah. Oh God, I can't remember how many terrible wingers we've had over the years.
It's got to be between Tahu
It was back when
and...
Bellamy was the coach. He put in Anthony Quinn and
Oh.
Turner. Remember Scott
I've got
Turner?
one. I've got one.
Oh.
Adam McDougall.
Oh yeah. He's-
Wow. Eric
well,
Gross
it's hard.
in the comments,
It's
yeah.
hard for us because we were for New South Wales because they were so bad for so
So who
long.
was that winger who played for Newcastle? He was part Scottish. Was his name James McManus, wasn't it?
Mm.
He played
Oh
for
yeah, he did get in.
He played like a
Yeah.
couple of games. I mean, he's obviously been a part of controversy after his career, and I am going to use this as an opportunity to flex a little bit. But Michael Gordon, his jersey I've got on the wall behind me here, he played a game for New South Wales, and it was the only Origin game I've ever been to, Game 3, 2010, which was the only time during Queensland's 8 in a row that they swept New South Wales and won all 3 games. So it was the perfect game for him to be picked in, and the perfect time for me to go to my only ever Origin game as a New South Wales.
Mick Gordon was a freak. Like, he was so underrated. I love Mick Gordon. Big fan.
Especially when he played for us. He played good for us.
You know what? He was solid at fullback for the Roosters, but
Yeah.
like, at the time
Played
I
well
remember
for
thinking
everyone.
it's a bit of a shame that the Roosters went and signed James Tedesco for the next year because Gordon was playing all right, but then Tedesco obviously has been, in my opinion, the best player in the competition over the past. When did he get to the Roosters? 2018,
18.
5 years.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
I think that's justified.
maybe that's why Viking King hates the Roosters so much because Teddy backflipped on him.
on Canberra.
On the Raiders. Yeah, they did.
Years before.
Viking King is a Queenslander as well, so
So Northern,
in.
Northern for Northern Viking must mean the Northern State, right? Queensland up north.
he's a Queenslander and a Canberra fan.
That's
Hey, I mean-
I've never seen.
Is that my turn?
Yeah, mate, you're up.
Oh,
Plenty of Canberra legends from Queensland though, so that might have something to do with it.
so we got BKR. Best New South Wales player was definitely Jared Croker. A couple of Canberra commenters in there right now.
If only Jared Croker had ever played an Origin game.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk he should have.
I
never
don't
bought
think
in.
so, because how was he supposed? I'm sorry, he's not been a great defender. And speaking about someone who could have sort of contained Greg Inglis, I unfortunately don't think Jared Croker would have been that guy. Hey, he would have kicked every conversion he took and maybe scored a few tries and been solid in attack. But against Inglis, yeah, I don't know.
Matt King was super solid. Thanks for that, Blues Water Sports Fishing. I thought he was an absolute weapon, Matt King, back in the day.
Sideshow
Big
Bob.
body.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, he was playing for New South Wales during that period right before the 8 in a row when New South Wales won 3 in a row. In the end, and back then New South Wales were the dynasty that looked unbeatable for a bit, and then Yeah.
And then Lockyer scored that fucking try.
Oh, it was Morley who passed that ball.
That did it as well.
It was actually Matt King who
Yeah.
passed that ball. Now I
really?
think about it. Oh, no, it wasn't Brett Hodgson. No, it was Brett Hodgson.
Brett
Matt
Hodgson.
King was the intended receiver, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why
So
Brett
we're going
Hodgson
back
didn't get a
to-
shout at fullback.
If we're going back to best New South Wales team ever, halves. I thought we're going pretty vintage with that, right? Like
Johns and Fittler.
you go, yeah.
By far.
Yeah.
By a long mark.
I'm glad we're all on the same team with that. I feel like a lot of people try to talk about Cleary.
Well, how about
Who?
this? Though? How about this? For his era, and hear me out. For his era, Trent Hodkinson is the best New South Wales halfback because he's the only one who won a series
Yeah, I know.
in 2014.
That's sad, isn't it?
So for his era,
I
and I thought
don't
he
like
played
that.
good. I thought he played
I don't
good
like
in
that.
the series though.
You're
Because-
making logical sense, but I don't like it.
Yeah,
so.
it's weird because I put up, it was at the end, it was 3 years ago, right? So I put up a post, the best New South Wales team of the decade at the end of 2019, right? And Trent Hodkinson was my halfback, and a lot of people were complaining about that. And I would respond, who else are you going to put in there? Who was literally better than him as New South Wales halfback for the whole decade of the 2010s? He was the 2019. Obviously, is when New South Wales started their sort of, I wouldn't even say dominance, but their era of actually picking good players. And right, Cleary's in there now, but at that stage, I mean, for someone who would at least, you could have even said Cleary then, I guess, but it was his first real Origin series. But I'm trying to think about it now. I might have even put it up in 2018 because I remember Cleary just not really doing anything in Origin to that point. But yeah, for a long while there, Trent Hodkinson, the man. I don't know why I've just gone on a bit of a Trent Hodkinson rant, but there we go. That's our all-time New South Wales greatest back line is now a Trent Hodkinson chat.
No, like it amazes me how we ended up winning a series with Trent Hodkinson and Josh Reynolds as the halves. So
Looking back at it,
I can tell you why. Because they didn't have Cronk. They didn't have.
Thurston was
Who
out.
else
for a
was injured? Thurston was out for a game. Cronk was out for 2 or 3 of them.
they still had Slater and Smith though, like and I think that Cherry Evans is a pretty good backup at that point in time as well.
You think Cherry Evans is a good player?
Now,
Yes.
no, I think
Yeah,
he was.
Now
a very
he
good
is.
player.
I still think he is now. You look at that season in 2021, Tom Trbojevic, as good and as dominant as he was, obviously popping up in the right places, but Cherry Evans was getting him that ball. And you look at last season as well, Cherry Evans just tries his ass off still. I do think I wouldn't say most underrated player in the game or anything, but I do think there are some people out there who genuinely think he's trash, and he's not trash at all. He's still
not
one
trash.
of the best
No.
in the comp, and in a competition as well where you can say there's maybe 7 genuine out and out halfbacks. He's one of them. So
Yeah,
I
100%.
would still say I still think he is a very good player, and yeah, I think he tries as much as he can at Manly, but Manly's not necessarily got the most depth in their team, and some of their starters are a bit hit and miss at times as well. So
Yeah, you don't have to be, I guess, the most likable guy as well to be a good player. And I think he rubs a lot of people the wrong way in the way he speaks. I can't get behind him. It's I imagine myself as a player in that locker room, and Cherry Evans speaking to me like a politician. I don't really feel like I want to go out and die for the bloke. You know what I mean? It's a tough thing to do because he is a good player still. But I don't know. I don't see him as a captain. I know he's been captain of Queensland for ages and captain for Manly as well. And the backflip on the Titans thing didn't help either. And you should be more upset about that than anyone, Ollie.
It was 8 years ago at this point, and I mean,
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, at the time, I didn't really care either way, because at that point I probably was a bit more of a Cherry Evans hater, just purely through a lot of people hating him as well. So I think maybe I didn't actually fully appreciate that situation at the time, if you get what I mean. But obviously, again, it was so long ago that you don't know what would have come of it, right? He could have completely dropped off. the next year, or maybe he would have incentivized other good players to sign for the Titans, and they could have built something and maybe won a comp. Like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's too far on in the past, but I mean, he ended up getting his contract right at Manly. He's coming into the last year of it. I know he's re-signed. Like he's signed an extension, but that original 8-year contract or whatever it was, that would be coming up this year, I think. So he's made his money out of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Just from BKR Sports, he made us get rid of half of our teams to renege on the deal. Whether he dropped off or not, he screwed our team.
I'm trying to think.
That's the reaction I would have if I was a Titans fan as well. Like the really passionate, salty reaction. So I also respect the maturity, Ollie.
Well, I'm thinking about the halfbacks that they've had since. I mean, Aiden Caesar was all right, then ended up at Canberra. And, I mean, the only other real good one's been Fogarty, who's also ended up at Canberra. So
Aiden Caesar played a grand final for Canberra.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Right.
if Tanner Boyd's any good this season, he'll probably end up at Canberra next year, which is good to know. So, actually, you know what? If Daly Cherry Evans had gone to the Titans, it's guaranteed what would have happened. Within the next 2 years, he would have been at Canberra. So,
Oh, the comment: Cherry Evans is a giraffe neck dog.
Love it. BKR.
I love it. I love it. I
and
don't
Northern Viking.
rate.
Northern Viking wants Munster to be the Queensland captain, and also A Raiders.
Queensland captain.
Yeah, Mad Dog Munster.
Who's their captain now?
Cherry Evans.
Cherry Evans.
Cherry Evans.
A bold prediction that I've seen multiple people actually say though is that they think at least by the end of the 2023 Origin series, Sam Walker will be starting as halfback for Queensland over Cherry Evans.
That's no.
Bold.
Not this
I'm
year.
not saying
Yeah, not this
I
year.
agree or disagree, but I mean, what if they happen to get pumped in the first 2 games, and then maybe chuck him in there. I don't know, but I can't see Cherry Evans getting dropped for him. I can see him being in the side and like maybe getting a crack or something, but I don't see Cherry Evans fully making way.
Nah, no way.
Unless
No way.
Cherry Evans
No
has just a
chance.
shocker of the year.
I mean,
He's got to play bad 13 for the first 13 rounds.
Yeah, I doubt he plays that bad.
Yeah, no, he won't play that.
And Sam Walker's tiny. Like, imagine throwing, I don't know, let's say we're smart, we pick Ola Kawatu and like Latrell on an edge, and we're running them at Sam Walker. That's terrifying.
It is.
Well, speaking of Sam Walker, right, I have a personal grudge against him as a Titans fan because in 2021, during the season when hold on, once Cherry Evans retires, he'll be signing Giraffe and oh wow. Walker, so the last regular season game that the Titans and Roosters played against each other in 2021, he kicked the match-winning field goal for the Roosters to win the game 35-34, and then in the first week of the finals, he kicked the field goal for the Roosters to beat the Titans 25-24 and eliminate them. And I remember heading into last year, that first game they played each other, I predicted the Roosters to win 15-14 and Sam Walker to kick the match-winning field goal because I thought that's the trajectory we were going. But yeah, he has literally single-handedly ended my team's season before. So yeah, on a personal level, it's just something about Sam Walker.
Fair play, man. On a positive here, this is a lovely comment. Northern Viking, you're back in the good books. Raiders v Eels, longest drought grand final. That would be special. I feel like Para deserve a comp.
Well, here's the thing. I don't like that, and here's why. For either of those teams to end those drought, end their drought, I feel like doing it against the other, it'd still be very special, but doing it against the other would take away from it a bit, because it's like, half the people wanted to see the other team to win. If Penrith, I'm saying hypothetically here, go on to win 5 grand finals in a row, and then they lose to a Canberra or Parramatta in the grand final to end their drought, they've not only ended the drought, but they've had that underdog effort. I feel like that'd make it a bit more special. So personally, if I was a fan of either of those teams, I wouldn't want that to happen.
That's fair. That's fair. Cool.
You want a real villain to root against. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
you want a good story, right, for your team, and you want them to overcome. Where, right, if it was Eels Raiders, for a lot of neutrals, they might actually be less invested in it, because they're like, I'd be happy for either of them to win, and you kind of feel bad for the other that they'd lose again. But if you got that real villain, a Panthers, Storm, or Roosters losing to one of those teams in the grand final to end their drought, I mean, it was perfect for Cronulla when they won, because they beat the big bad team at the time, right? They beat Melbourne, and I think that probably added to it a bit more as well. So
Definitely.
Definitely. Little narrative.
yeah, Cowboys beat the Broncos. I mean, the Broncos hadn't won a grand final for a while, but still they were consistently making the finals, and they were the only Queensland team to have won a comp before, and they'd never lost a grand final. And then the Cowboys to win their first comp.
Big brother.
Yeah.
Beat the big brother. That was a good game.
Who's draft here?
Oh, I am on the clock, aren't I? Oh, I've auto-picked. I was too busy talking. I'm sorry. All right, let's see. Who have I got? We're all going to find out at the same time.
Oh, is it Maddo?
Well, if it's Ryan Madison, then that's probably the first big flop of the draft, isn't it?
No. He
I'll
quickly
be
puts
taking
in
Sammy Walker. Sammy Walker.
Sammy?
Yep.
Sammy.
Have a good year.
Is it
Actually,
actually?
definitely going to have a...
I took Fogarty instead of him.
We could trade.
Later.
I might not. Yeah.
It's not
give
come
me
up.
your next pick as well.
It's not come up for me yet. Have I actually picked Sam Walker here?
No, I'm taking
No,
Sam
no.
Walker. You'll get
Madison.
Oh no, it says you're getting Taylor May. Nah, kidding. You'll probably get Maddo, I'd say.
That's a bit of a stinker, because he's not starting the year, but
He should be good, though. I think they'll put him where Papali'i was. Like, that's where he was prior to Papali'i getting there. So I don't know why you wouldn't go back to that.
Raiders versus Cowboys GF. Hold on a minute, didn't he? Oh no, he tipped that it was supposed to be Panthers Cowboys last year. Okay, Raiders Cowboys.
Yeah, he's throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what sticks.
Just not enjoying the Raider component here. Why don't we cut him out and just go Cowboys Eels? Sorry, Chooks. You can win all the comps after the snow crap gets taken out.
I think it's the grand final we all want. You know,
Is what, Cowboys and Para?
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Longy and I might not speak to each other again afterwards. But,
I don't know. Everyone's got us to be there, but I just after that second trial, I think we still have a long way to go. It's not set in stone.
Yeah, a lot of injuries too.
Injuries and combinations, and our forwards they're not that great. They're not that great. Bradley's good. That's
Brandon
it.
Smith.
But again, he's not an 80-minute player. And then who do you got come off the bench? Jake Turpin. He's not anything special. If Connor Watson was there, then maybe. But and who's our other forward? Lindsay Collins. He's another head knock he could be going too.
This is why Takeyaho was really important.
I think Collins
very
would
important.
probably still have a couple more. He's probably more on the early side of the.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But it's just every time he gets touched in the jaw or something, he just goes down.
What is it with the Roosters and concussions though? Like what?
Because we run hard. That's what it is. We run hard and we tackle hard.
You turned it into a positive. That's beautiful.
With us, it's not the way people are saying.
2014 grand final rematch this year. Yeah, I don't think the Bulldogs are making the grand final.
Not the grand final. Maybe up there somewhere, close, but not the grand final.
All right, you're back in, Max.
I can't work it out. I've been in the stream for the last 10 minutes on my end.
Yeah, I think Longy has to let you in. Yeah, which is
Cut that out. That sounded terrible. Delete one of them.
Yeah, pause something else. Like mute one of them.
Yeah. Got two of them.
It's your pick, Longy.
Yeah, I took Sam Walker.
Yeah.
47 minutes.
just
ago.
waiting for it to tick over.
This. I've never seen a draft like this. By the way, this is absolutely shocking. We should be done by now. Because even if it's being laggy, normally if the 60 seconds ends, it just picks and you move on. Like it's stopping after the 60 seconds for another couple of minutes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've never seen like
which I've also never seen. Like, this is just, this is new territory, newfound territory.
Well, we drafted the other day.
We can be proud, boys, that we broke Supercoach. It's all good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Longy, you won Supercoach. Did you win Supercoach?
Fantasy, yeah.
Oh, really? That's sick.
Yeah. No, that was crazy. I was at uni at the time, so I had a lot of free time during lectures.
Yeah, right.
Create spreadsheets and analyze everything.
Yep.
But that was a crazy trip. We went over to the UK for the World Cup, so 2013. Season stayed in the same hotel as like the players and all that. Caught the team bus for the game, like captain's run.
Sick.
No, they're all such good guys too. Like I remember Nate Miles was asking me for fantasy tips because he plays.
Yeah? Nice.
So he's my favorite.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's sick.
The other way to win. Yeah, so you go.
No, you told me that. Yeah, I want to know that. The other way to win.
Yeah, look, it's not guaranteed, but the only way to win is just to be really different, right? Like you got to watch the games yourself, and if you like the look of a player and no one else is talking about him, you got to back yourself. And sometimes you blow out and you come 10,000th.
Yeah.
But if it works, it works. So
yeah,
don't be afraid to take risks. That's the big thing.
Yeah. I was gonna say I've been playing for like 10 years.
Yeah.
Like it's never come even close.
Oh really? What's your top finish?
I don't even remember. Like I don't know. Not in the top 1,000. No way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything out of that doesn't really matter, right? Did you get a ring or something in top 1,000?
Did
you get like
a free eel membership when I came 60th once?
Oh wow, 60th as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I had a run. It was before all the content though. So there was no TikTok. There was no content creators on YouTube. Like
I don't think Instagram was really a thing either.
Yeah, nothing at all.
Yeah,
Like you just had to do your own research and watch games, make your own calls. And now everyone can just kind of, watch me on TikTok or any of the other guys on TikTok as well, and they can sort of pick up the tips.
Stolen trade secrets.
It's a bit easier now, a bit normalized, then also harder.
Yeah.
Also, we're getting more grand final suggestions.
Roosters.
That would be so good after last year's final. Best game ever.
I in my lifetime, I hope to see a grand final like this in my lifetime. Like I know it happened when it first started, but what has happened now? It almost happened. Oh no, it didn't. Oh yeah, the last couple of years when we played them in the prelim to get into the grand final. Or they've either won or we've won. We've just never been on the either end of the top 8 to make it together.
Well,
but yeah, once in my lifetime, I would love to see it.
2014, if Penrith didn't upset the Roosters in that first week of the finals, it probably was going to be a Rabbitohs Roosters grand final. They were realistically the two best teams that year, but that Jamie Soward field goal prevented that from happening, unfortunately for you. But I don't know, with the Rabbitohs and Roosters, right? I feel like they need to verse in the second week of the finals first, because they versed a couple of times, obviously in the prelim. They versed in the first week of the finals. You got to get the second week of the finals in first, in like probably the least interesting week of the finals, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then they got to do the grand final.
Yeah, look, in my opinion, it's the best rivalry in the league, right?
Oh,
Rabbitohs
by far.
Roosters. Just so many classic games that you can point to.
So good.
Like, for me, that whole 2012 season where the Roosters got on them the first round 1, and then in round 12, the Rabbitohs scored this ridiculous full field try off the kickoff and got the victory. Both last minute finishes.
Yeah, both last minute.
That was such a surreal
that's
thing as well, because both teams were down by like at least 12 points with 3 minutes to go. Like it was, we've not seen comebacks like that since really from teams in games, but they both did the same year. I'm definitely not suggesting it was. I think it was a huge coincidence, but if you were ever going to say the NRL is scripted, that would be the example, because not only did both of them come back from like 12 points down in 3 minutes, the other team then did it in the reverse fixture in the same year.
Yeah,
I know.
Like if you
Crazy.
that's perfect.
Oh, and Kobe's taken Taylor May. Oh no.
Unlucky. We got a question to where's Teddy? Teddy was taken pick number 5.
I'm sure at
Emil
home.
actually got him. I took him pick number 3 in a draft the other day, so pick 5 is very good.
I don't know why who went first?
We had Zane Potter. I think he auto drafted Brian Pappenhausen, so
Oh yes, that's right.
lucky there. And then Jared Hughes online league academy.
And then took I think he auto drafted Ryan Pappenhausen, but when it came back around, he took Dylan Edwards as well. So that's
Oh wow.
it's gonna be interesting.
Oh, but we get 4 bench players, right?
Yeah.
Kalal Matangi and Brian and Dylan Edwards were his 2 picks. I only pay attention to it because I'm right after him. So I've got to be on my toes.
Hey Emil, what do you do on your streams normally? Like, I know you do a bit of gaming and that kind of stuff. Do you do a lot of footy stuff as well?
So I haven't done footy like streams before. I streamed last year a couple of Roosters games at the end of the year. But on Twitch it's a bit iffy. You're not allowed to stream the games, like the actual game on there. But I'm not a very big streamer on Twitch. So I might do it for a little bit, and they might ban me for like a day or whatever. And then once they do that, then I'll move it to my Discord, and then stream it on Discord, and then just have me on Twitch commentating or like reacting to the game or whatever. But yeah, other than that, I've just been streaming on Twitch for like say now 2-3 years. Gaming, just talking shit, really.
Yeah.
Nothing too special. Playing at the moment a game called Valorant.
Oh yeah.
Have you heard it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Counter-Strike. You guys played Counter-Strike before? CS:GO. Shooting game. Yeah.
I've heard
Did you ever play Splitgate?
Hey?
Did you ever play Splitgate?
I have before.
Yeah.
But not anymore now. It wasn't my style of game.
Yeah, we got really
right
into it.
Yeah.
During like lockdown last year.
Yeah.
Was it last year or the year before? I can't remember.
Year before.
Yeah, it would have been the year before. So,
the whole streaming thing through COVID was good because everyone was at home watching and tuning in. But as soon as COVID finished, everybody had to go to work. So even I had to get back to work. So I couldn't really stream as much as I was during that 2 years. But I want to try and do more NRL streams on Twitch.
Oh yeah.
But again, it's hard to stream the actual games, and people don't want to be clicking this app and open this app and open that app to watch and watch me and then watch the game at the same time. So I'll try it, see what happens. If it works, it works. Doesn't work, then we'll just try something else.
That's cool.
I'm a concreter by trade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, me and my brother have a concrete business. Yeah. So we do that during the day, and then get home and I turn the stream on and I just jump on. Yeah.
Oh, beauty.
Yeah, man.
It's cool. All right, I'm just looking at this draft. Look, we can't go all night. Should we close it down at the end of this round of picks? So 4 more picks. and then we can just keep drafting on our own, or do you guys want to keep pushing through?
I don't have anywhere to go.
Yeah.
Do you guys have to get off?
I'm happy to do the next round at least.
Yeah, we can keep going.
I might jump off after round 4, but I've got to at least make one more actual pick before I go. Right? I can't just leave the stream on bloody.
I want to
redeem.
I want to get a good
Let's keep
hooker.
going.
I want to get a good hooker, and then the rest can just pick itself at once.
Well, I already took Brandon Smith, mate. So it's all...
Nah, you're right. You can have him.
What is?
I don't know. The hooker, who are you going to get at the moment?
I'm not telling because
What?
he's right in Steam. He's right.
Anything?
Who's left? And
A
you're
hooker?
you're up in quite a while, so you're
I
going to have to
know.
hope.
I know.
Nah, that's
A few
some quality.
options. Oh, yeah. Interesting.
We'll see.
It's the halves that was getting live.
Got my halves are done. Fullback's done.
So,
Just the number 9.
so just like in real life, there are hardly any good halves left, hey?
Yep.
Actually, who? Yeah, I don't think I've got a half yet, do I? I think my picks have been stinkers, to be honest. I don't mind though. I'm just in it for the fun. Yeah, I've got Viliami Kikau, Ryan Madison, and Harry Grant. So my spine's looking amazing. Lucky Harry's a wizard though. So
Harry Grant's not bad. I would love to
Not
have Harry
bad.
Grant. Stuck with Damien Cook. Sam Walker, and Matt Burton.
Don't say it like that. You got to be like, I'm stuck with Damien Cook. You know, like bit of positivity.
Sounds like a kids movie. Stuck with
Yeah.
Damien Cook.
stuck with Damien Cook.
Could be worse. Could be worse hookers out there, like the one Emil's about to take. So
Emil's got some pretty good ones. I'm not going to name names, but there's some good hookers there still.
Yep.
Like, actually, surprisingly, some of them are still there. They couldn't be.
yeah, I know. I was looking at that going, shit, did I draft Brandon Smith too high?
But I think someone will take this one before it gets to me anyway. They should.
Also, Max at 2 point, he's said that he doesn't have a single spine member yet.
Yeah, that should have been the first.
I'm hoping
Except
to lock
for
it out
Cody Walker.
in the next 2 rounds.
Mm.
The spine, and then the rest will work itself out.
So when it auto picks, it just picks whatever's next. Yeah, whatever you have on your.
Yeah, whatever you've got at the top.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, I got Zach Lomax at number 10. I didn't want him.
Yeah, no, you got to let the Lomax fella pick him.
Yeah,
They pick early though, don't they? So they've
yeah.
already picked this round.
Yeah, it's like me. I've got the second pick, and then like when I'm done with my second pick, it's like you're up in 36 picks. I'm like, wow, a lot of time and a lot of.
I have to admit, when we first started, I did go down through the draft order, and I went to the bottom, and there are 300 picks in total.
Yeah.
So I was sitting here thinking, I was sitting here thinking, I was like, I'll be what time are we streaming till? Because I was trying to work it out, but I'm new to the draft. I've played Supercoach before, poorly.
Mhm.
I won in a comp, but in a cheap plug here in the podcast that I do, the guys that I do that with, and a few of our listeners have a comp, and they're very much into it. And I won't touch my team for 5 weeks, and then I'll get abused for it. But then I make changes, and I've already noticed. So obviously, before the season starts, you obviously pick your team, and you know usually your team's at its best in round 1, right? Because you've got a solid idea. I already have 5 players in doubt for round 1, so that's me. But yeah, in terms of the draft, I take it back to my point. I take it. It's not a normal thing to have to wait the whole full minute for people's picks to come through.
Ollie, if you leave your team unchanged, I'm going to make videos on TikTok abusing you for it. Especially if I'm going against you. I'm gonna highlight it.
Do you guys want to hear my team? Like my normal?
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah, man.
All
Yeah,
right.
Reed.
Yeah,
That's
what I was gonna
give us your team.
All right,
Also,
wait,
before
hold
you
on.
do, Northern Viking has ranked the hookers for us. He's got Levi first,
Of course
then
he has.
Harry Grant, Tom Starling, Damien Cook, and Appy Coruscant after that.
Where's,
So Raiders were 2 of the top 3.
Where's
Very surprising.
Where's Wolford? Come on.
Yeah.
We're a Canberra fan if you're not got in there.
I think Wolford might be number 6.
Well,
Yes.
Damn it.
Oh, Jack Whiten gone. Mate,
Yeah, I wanted Jack,
hookers.
but it was kind of hopeful from me.
So
Are you like 47 picks away?
19.
Yeah, fine. Let's see. You still got some guys there.
Yeah.
Still got Hastings. It's fun.
So all the players in my regular team that are either in doubt or are definitely out for round 1: Dylan Edwards, Xavier Savage, Joey Manu, Luciano Leilua, Josh Schuster, and Liam Knight. So
Jeez,
Wow.
yeah, definitely there.
that's tough.
Again, I don't really play to win, but to be honest, I just sort of look at that, and I've known for about at least 2 weeks now about this, right? But I've still not gone on and changed the side. So maybe I will just leave it for you guys, so you can get some more TikTok content abusing me about my team. I'm fine with that. But yeah.
Tamalolo gone.
Oh, that's
yeah, it's pretty late for Taumalolo.
Big boys
Maybe-
are going.
Maybe I would have taken Tamalolo before if I actually made a pick.
He's hit and miss Taumalolo actually. Like the last couple of years, he hasn't been potentially as good as he could have been in Supercoach. So
Very safe though. Very safe there. Like at pick
Yeah,
number 60, you get Tamalolo. You're not complaining.
50 every week.
Easy.
Yeah, even Jack Whiten, Reed Marnie, they were great picks too. Who have we got next on the stream here? What's
Like
next up? We got
Blake's
Wheel.
up.
You know, I mean, from the 4 of us though. Like we got a while, don't we?
I'm 15. In 15.
18.
Okay.
I think it'd
I'm
be
in 10.
I'm in 11.
Yeah, so it's you, Dan.
Yeah.
All right, 10 picks. So I can tell you guys what I'm going to do. Actually, no, wait. The other boys are on the stream.
This
Oh
is
no,
where it
big, big.
Yeah, I'm
this is where it
going for,
gets intense.
let's see. I'm going for Jerry Marshall King. Sam Verrills, new club. Farmanu Brown.
Wade Egan, maybe? Good. He'll play 80 minutes at number 9, maybe?
Well, mate, his Josh Hodgson sitting there.
Wait, actually, Danny Levi is still available, and he was ranked number 1. Winston's asking me to tell myself. Winston, you're up right now. Let's see. I'll tell you what I would do if I was you. It'll be too late though because of how slow this thing's going.
Oh, and Darlo takes Ponga as well.
I like that pick. I want a Ponga. Or you can take anyone. Offhangao is pretty solid.
A fullback.
Talakai, Lomax.
Are there any fullbacks left?
Yeah, there's a couple.
Yeah, there's a bunch of fullbacks. Suali'i, go for the upside. Cobo. Some good players there. still.
Ezra.
Just drafted JMK. He says. Hookers going. You guys got your hookers or you all out?
Yeah.
I
I've
need
got mine.
I need one.
Oh, that's a dangerous spot to be.
I know.
I'm sorry, but who's got the name Marnie Ball and has picked Coruscant. Marnie gone or?
Yeah,
How long is he out
only
for?
Marnie only just went off the board.
I actually love Darlo's team. So you go,
So
you got
far.
Ponga as well. You got Ponga too. It's not here for some reason. But you've got Tamalolo, Garrick, and Turbo, and then Ponga.
And Ponga.
It's
right,
risky.
okay.
It's risky with injuries, but it could be an early title threat. Let's have a look at your teams. Let's see what we think.
Yep.
Sure.
We got there are our team names here.
Better than yours. That's me.
There we go. Fogarty, Dearden,
Teddy.
Teddy, and who's your other one? Or are you waiting on the next
yeah.
one?
Yeah, waiting
He's
on the
waiting.
fourth.
Yeah. It's tough to position to be in at the front of this draft.
Yeah, Teddy's so nice though. You captain him round 1 against the Dolphins. You probably win that game automatically. Fogarty, Dearden, both are good teams. You can go anywhere though because you've got those positions covered. Like the halves are not restricting anymore.
That's right, yeah. Just need a good hooker.
Yeah.
Just someone to get 50 points.
And Berg's TCA. Brandon Smith, Nathan Cleary, Brian Toe. Wow, selling out for the Panthers and the Chooks, eh?
That's a good one.
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
The 3 blokes that are get 60 plus every week.
Yeah, it's pretty rock solid.
I'm taking it home.
Yep.
So far.
That's very solid. And then regularly, in my opinion, Harry Grant, Maddo, Kickout.
Oh, no halves.
More in the forwards, stronger in the forwards.
We'll probably be stronger in the forwards from round 4 onwards when Madison's actually allowed to play again. But yeah,
You cop that.
And Marnie Ball takes the infamous Tanner Boyd.
Oh, I like that pick.
Tanner Boyd.
No, I like that. Tanner Boyd, a goal kick. He averages like 60, 62 or something like that when he starts at halfback. And he covers halfback and hooker. So for this comp, it's so valuable.
Mm-hmm. It's a shame McInnes didn't get the hooker role as well. I guess it's Brayley's spot.
Brayley played so well last year. Like I just can't see why you'd give it to McInnes.
Yeah.
In any way. Like even on Supercoach. Like I just don't. He just barely played there last year. So you kind of can't do that. Also, I think he should be starting at lock, not Finucane. I don't know if you guys
think so.
I agree.
Really?
Yeah. Finucane at this point he's not.
He's not as good.
Not really
as
a starter.
Not as good as McInnes, I think, as well.
Yeah.
At least the last year at Cronulla. And you know what? If not for his injuries, you want to talk about a player who's been underrated. I would say Cam McInnes. I think it's something like 3 out of the past 6 seasons. He has been the top tackler in the NRL.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's made the most tackles out of anyone. And I'm pretty sure the years that he hasn't, he was injured 1 year, but I'm pretty sure he's been top 5. I'm not sure about 2022 actually, although he would have been up there, but I'm pretty sure he's at least 5.
Yeah.
For like 5 years in a row or something, which is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, he is a good defender, that's for sure.
And Cronulla were really good defensively right up until the finals last year. It was a big part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, he's one of those guys as well that you would miss him if he was on your team. He does all the dirty, gritty work that no one else wants to.
Yeah.
So it's like, so I love those kind of players that you don't know you need until they're gone. Like, kind of like the Dragons are now. Like, they don't really have that guy in the middle making 50 tackles a game. And they thought McCullough would be that guy last year, but he was clearly past it. So
Well, I mean, last year the Dragons, I'd say their best forward, at least consistently, at least putting in the effort, was probably Blake Laurie, to be honest, I thought. In terms, you talk about that work, like, he was probably consistent. He's getting the best numbers, making most of their tackles. I know, like, a Jack Bird had a decent enough season, then the Bellin had his games where he sort of stood out as well, but I feel like constantly throughout the season, keeping a trend of like reliable performances, I'd probably say it was Blake Laurie. And I'm not trying to put him down or anything, but he's not like one of those players where it's even like a Josh Curran when he was sort of on his run at the Warriors of consistent performances where it stood out and it was very noticeable because they were all very good games, whereas Laurie's just sort of been more reliable, and he's at least I think been the best that the Dragons have had in terms of consistent performances in their forward pack. So Cam McInnes would be perfect, funnily enough, I think, for the Dragons. But they let him go down the road, so
that was bad by them, and they took McCulloch instead of him, right?
Yeah. The thing is,
they only got McCulloch like after they had a bit of a scramble for who the hell's going to play hooker. They didn't know who was going to play hooker after Cam McInnes left. Yeah.
As well, I remember when McInnes signed, they obviously announced he had signed for the Sharks for 2022 in 2021, and literally the day after is when he did his ACL.
Yeah.
I remember it specifically. It was literally the day after the announcement he did his ACL. So you could imagine, I don't think it even would have been, no, it wouldn't have been Craig Fitzgibbon who's signed him because John Morris was the coach at the time, but you'd have to think the Sharks would have been shitting themselves. And now, like, you go to here, and I'm pretty sure it was his ACL that he did. And after doing an ACL, like, players don't usually come back the same, but he's pretty much
come back the same
before.
Doing exactly what he needs to be doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's just it's just tough to find, like, there's not many like top 5 hookers in the league right now. You'd have to go Coruscant, Grant, Cook, maybe Brandon Smith is after that.
I'd say,
who would you have?
I think
Robson,
inconsistent.
Yeah, Robson's good.
Josh Hodgson?
No. Reed Marnie, probably 5. Reed Marnie at 5.
Yeah. There you go. You go to Reed, but like after that, there's a significant drop off. Maybe Blake Brayley
and his brother.
Yeah, Jaden's pretty good actually when he plays.
Yeah.
Well, I know
there's not many.
The bold prediction came up when we first started the stream of Reece Robson making his New South Wales debut, and when you actually think about it, depending on how Cook plays, if he again sort of keeps up the inconsistency and maybe Freddie gets to the point where he sort of drops him outright, other than Coruscant, it is literally Reece Robson. Like, he's
it's those 3. That's it.
About it, yeah. When you actually think about it, he is actually much closer. And I think I could be wrong here, but for at least one of the games last year, he was like 20th, 21st man, wasn't he? So I think he
was
part of a camp before as well. So I feel like he's sort of been groomed to maybe get a bench spot at some point soon. I don't know if it'll be this year again. I think a lot of it will actually come down to Damien Cook, because I feel like if Coruscant plays as we should expect, he will at least be coming off the bench for New South Wales. And it again depends on Cook and how loyal Brad Fitt wants to stay with Damien Cook. Because to be honest, I think that's probably the only thing keeping Robson out.
I think the one problem I have with Cook, and not many people agree with me, but I think he just plays too fast sometimes. That speed out of dummy half. He just gets too ahead of his attacking line, and then he tries to pass the ball, and he's already too far in front of his attacking line. So when he's passing the ball, they're losing 5 or 6 meters. You know what I mean? Because he's too quick. I know some people might not be a problem, but you sort of have to have fluency with your structures and your out the back plays and stuff like that. Sometimes he just goes too quick, too early, and his second rower or front rower that's running that decoy line, he has to sort of try to pass it behind him instead of flat to his half. You know,
I
I think
there
that's
are
where the
times as well.
problem comes sometimes.
There are times too where he honestly, like we know, like he's a champion beach sprinter and everything.
Yeah.
There have been times over the past couple of years where he probably had opportunities to run the ball like he used to in that first breakout season in 2018, where it was, and that might be to your point a bit, where there are times where he'll sort of make that run, make that bit of a break, and then turn and look to pass, where he should honestly just be
Just keep going. Yeah,
and
yeah, exactly.
And then once you get into broken play a bit more, and you got your support coming up, okay, then maybe look to get the ball to someone to score. But yeah, when they first brought in the 6 again rule, a lot of people were looking at Damien Cook to be the one to exploit it, and it ended
100%.
up
definitely.
it ended up being more. I think it was Harry Grant, at least at the Tigers, when he was on that loan move there, and even Coruscant as well. But Cook just never really exploited it, even because it was the year the 6 again got brought in. Was it 2020? Was it Cam Smith's last year?
2021?
Was it because wasn't it brought in when they came back from COVID anyway? Because I think I remember like Cam Smith even was able to use it to his advantage in his own way, right? But the one player that everyone was like, yeah, he's a lock to be the perfect player for this new rule, it's just not happened.
Yeah. Wait, when did they? So Roosters won 18-19. Who won 20? Storm, that's right. Yes, that's right. Yeah, so I think it was brought in that year when they won. Or it might have been the year after.
Yeah,
2020.
It was brought in 2020 because the
Yeah.
Raiders complained heaps about, because they just made the grand final on the back of like gritty, slow play, defensive style.
And of course, the 6 again.
No, seriously. Yeah, the 6 again.
You want to know what the weird thing is? That they actually made the wrong decision first, but the switch was to make the right decision. But I guess the complaint was more the switch. Like Canberra
it was the correct call in the end.
Yeah, it literally.
Yeah,
and
it
I think
was.
that's what some people overlook. They actually, the wrong call was made at first, and then it was corrected to the right call. But this is going off a little bit, but I think in that grand final, I was there. I watched it, and watching it afterwards, Canberra had so many opportunities where they had like a full set of 10 meters from the line, and they just did nothing. Like even though it was close, the Roosters were clearly the better team in that game. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say it. If that call wasn't made, I think the Roosters still win the grand final. I don't think Canberra were robbed a premiership. They were robbed an opportunity to get closer in the game and get. Well, I think they might have gone in front of that time.
Maybe on the 1 point.
Yeah,
Because
they
it was
could have.
close.
They were. I'd say they were probably. Well, again, not even robbed, as we said. They made the right decision, but that whole kerfuffle, I think, stopped them from having an opportunity to maybe get the momentum that I think the Roosters had for most of that game. But I don't think they were robbed the premiership. I would like to say what, if they're still watching, the Northern Viking has to say, because
I'm waiting for a comment from them.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. I get told all the time. Oh, they got robbed. It's like, man, just it hit the back of a Canberra player. Like it was the right call in the end. You know.
So Northern Viking, technically Raiders won 2019.
Here we go.
There you go.
I would like to see the explanation to this actually.
Yeah, Northern Viking. Let us know exactly what you mean here.
We even had a sin bin there for 10 minutes that they didn't capitalize on.
Didn't Kronk go to the bin? Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, you know what as well? I'll say this. That Canberra call, that 6 again call, was as much of a rort as it was Jared Hargreaves being told that he was going to be the Clive Churchill medalist, and then they made the last minute
And then they made it
switch to Jack White.
One.
Jared Hargreaves got rorted as much as the Raiders. I'll say that.
Yep. And if the call went to the Raiders and they win, we're going to have the opposite conversation now.
Well, that's
Roosters
right.
got robbed. You know what I mean? We got robbed because it was the wrong call. Like, so back to back.
yeah. History doesn't remember the details of the excuses.
At least
I generally forget when some other team wins back to back. You know, it's all good.
Well, I mean, in terms of relevancy, it's a good thing that happened in that grand final, because if that didn't happen, I can't see the 2019 grand final for really any other reason going down in history as one of the great grand finals, but we still talk about it to this day for that call. So,
yeah,
maybe a positive in hindsight. I don't know.
Emil, how do you feel about the fact that you've used your 5'8" spot and Luke Keary is still there?
Like I said, Keary and Walker, I don't know. They're very touch and go. They don't really score too many points. They're injury prone. I just went for a solid halves pairing. Tom Dearden's runs hard, scores a lot of points, and Fogarty goal kicks too. Just maybe later on in the year, but just not right now. The Roosters start very slow. They start very slow every year, so that maybe later on.
I remember in 2018, halfway through the year, all the reports for that about Keary and Cooper Cronk not being able to form a cohesive partnership, because I think the Roosters were like 6th or 7th halfway through the year, that ended up winning the minor premiership and the comp. So
that's right, yeah. And 2019 was the same. 2020 was the same. 21, 22. We just start very bad. I mean, last year was bad. It was very, very bad.
More chat from the Viking. He doesn't stop, eh?
Ref always on Roosters' side.
I love the Viking.
That is the worst call ever. We give away the most penalties, the most 60-10 calls. That's what I'm going to say.
Last year, actually, it was Melbourne, very uncharacteristically.
Gave away the most penalties? Yeah. I'm sure we were 2nd or 3rd.
Normally, Melbourne's discipline, though, you'd expect them to be like right up there in terms of being really good at discipline. But
then again, in saying that, with the better teams, I feel like they give away more penalties to reset their line and to, especially on their goal line. You know what I mean? On their try line.
Yeah.
Boys, I'm taking.
Came in to stop.
Yeah, Will Kennedy. I just need a fullback and.
Yep. Damn it, Dan.
Are you going to go for him?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, there's some other guys there.
No, there's not. Don't pretend like there is.
Xavier Savage was starting, or Jaden Campbell.
Hey, Laurie, maybe.
Yeah, Zane Laurie.
I got my eye on a couple of people, so that's all good.
Tata Kula. Oh, Charlie Staines. We love Charlie Staines.
If we're gonna say that the refs are on any side, it's Penrith.
Amen.
It's Penrith. Oh my goodness. It's not the amount of calls that they get. It's the timing of the calls that they get. They get their calls in their half, struggling on their line.
Yeah, getting out of trouble.
It's always that call that they get them out of trouble, and then they're in the other half, and then they don't get calls in the other half. They just get the calls when they need the calls.
As I've seen,
that's what's frustrating.
As I've seen people say before, though, this whole thing about the refs and that, it's the 50-50 calls generally go towards whoever the better team is. And that seems to be the point of contention because, and I guess you can understand it depending on the call. Sometimes it's an absolute howler, but you got to think with the refs, if it's a very close call, a 50-50 call, and you're genuinely not sure, you're instinctively probably going to go towards the better team because they're in favour of the better team because they're less likely to be the one to be at fault in that situation. Like if you got, let's take the Panthers and the Tigers, and there's a 50-50 for a Tigers knock on, but they might not have knocked it on. Well, I don't know how many times last year did the Tigers knock the ball on, you know what I mean? So I feel like it's what sort of comes down to subconsciously, and I don't even think they need to do it, but yeah, as I said, subconsciously, referees do lean more towards the whoever the better team is in the game. So I feel
absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Like, I've supported Para for a long time, and Para had periods of being the worst team, and we wouldn't get those calls. And I watch us now. If we play a lower team, we get bailed out by the refs all the time. We usually don't need it, but I've noticed the difference. And like, I can admit now that we get
Emil wouldn't know what that's like, unfortunately.
They had that one season that guy mentioned before.
But see, the thing with Penrith again, like you're saying, they get the calls or whatever. It helps when you have Fisher Harris and Kikau and everybody laying down after they get tackled, and then they get up and they run through 5 or 6 players. It's like,
Well, the thing is,
are you
too,
injured or are you not? You know?
for a while there, Penrith are a good example because when they were sort of mid-finishing between 6th and 12th every year, I would say they were probably one of the teams who sort of got the hard end of the bargain, depending on who they were versing, obviously, but sort of more often than not, if it was a close game, there sometimes were a couple of calls against Penrith where they could have performed better against one of the better teams, but didn't. But now that they are one of the better teams, you really could be like, when was the last time you can think of in the past few years? Penrith maybe.
Yeah.
Hey, Ollie, sorry to cut you off, mate. It was your sorry to cut you off, mate.
Oh, yeah.
Did you?
No, and my screen froze as well. So I didn't know what was happening there. Oh, God.
He lost his
you're getting now.
vision. Yeah.
Like, literally. So my screen, as I was talking just then, you guys completely froze as well. Because I remember looking, like, I was keeping, like, trying to keep track of this, and I saw that you were picking, and I was thinking, all right, I'm up next. And then you guys sort of froze on here for a bit, and it distracted me. And I was sort of thinking, I was like,
no.
why not just look at that? And I've just
We'll see what you get.
The first thing that I heard was you going, did you make your pick? And I went, huh? And I just looked down, and yeah. So it turns out I'm probably just as good at Supercoach draft as I am regular Supercoach, which is fine. But hey, you want to know the good thing about that is, though, this year probably not many people are going to be bugging me to try and make a trade because I'll become a mast. So.
Oh, I'll be offering trades. Don't you worry.
Longy's favourite prey are bottom dwellers in terms of draft.
Yeah, I mean they got an incentive to move, you know, a need.
Yeah.
Take all them players, huh?
I take it I've gotten Sione Katoa then, which I need players in my spine, but I don't think that's a horrible.
That was good. That was
all right.
a lot of tries.
Yeah.
He was scoring a lot of tries off Will Kennedy, that's for sure.
By the time that KL Iro starts, he will be useless.
Oh,
Do we think Katoa's re-signing as well? Because
he has been a bit injury prone as well, I suppose.
There's been some talk about him signing with the Dragons. Heard he might have re-signed with.
Really, they're going to get rid of him.
Well.
I think they're one of the two, like one of the best pairing wingers in the comp.
Yeah,
I would
agree.
say, and this might be a bit of a discussion, but when they're on, the Sharks 1 to 5 as a combination best in the comp.
Who are they? 3 and 4. 3 and 4.
Ramey and
Talakai and Ramey. Yeah,
Talakai.
They're very inconsistent.
Watalo's been pushed onto the wing, and then Will Kennedy. I mean, when he's not suspended, I think he's great.
No, you got to go.
Yeah, Will Kennedy. Will Kennedy's very good player. Very, very good player. Very good player.
Actually, you know, when you talked about Origin, because I'm pretty sure Will Kennedy's actually from Queensland. I mean, you got Ponga, Brimson. I'm thinking this is more the Reece Robson thing. I'm thinking, how far would he actually be off? I don't think he probably will play Origin, but
he's got Reece Walsh there too.
Reece Walsh as well. Yeah,
as I say, Reece
Maybe
Walsh is probably the other guy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good fullbacks in our game. Like,
and Queensland like to put wingers and centers at fullback sometimes. So.
Yeah, so do we. Like,
yeah, we try. We try.
Yeah,
when they do it,
like,
it works.
Our depth chart for New South Wales is pretty good. Like, I would probably say Trebojevic after Teddy, and then I don't know about Latrell in Origin at fullback, but maybe probably Latrell, and then Pappenhausen, and then Gutho is probably what I
Nico.
Yeah, or Hines.
Gutho.
I think Hines would be a great 5'8" at the next level as well. Just him playing Origin.
I do think Luai shouldn't be there.
He's just in there because Penrith win comps.
Exactly.
So I'm just a little bit puzzled about something. I've just seen the comment you've put up. Northern Viking again, 1989 GF rematch, Raiders versus West Tigers. I was of the knowledge that the West Tigers were not a team in 1989, so I don't know what they're talking about here.
Yeah, right. Balmain, mate. Balmain.
Balmain Tigers.
The poor Northern Viking king has been beaten by semantics.
If he just said Tigers instead of West Tigers, I wouldn't have made that comment. But because they specifically chucked in the West Tigers, that is false.
I respect the hustle, regardless. When you're a Tigers fan, it's just been so long.
I think as well, with that one, right, it's okay, Northern Viking, you don't have to worry about that not happening because they're going to do it in 2029. How many years will that be? That'll be 40 years. So they're waiting for the 40-year anniversary, and that's when it'll be Raiders Tigers Grand Final. Both teams are just absolutely they're just throwing the comp each year, so they can get to 19.
Because neither look like winning a comp for the next 6 years.
That's part of my logic as well. I think
2029
2029 will be the year for the Tigers in the Grand Final.
Just back on the Origin, here's something we can do. Go pick your 1 to 7, just top of your head, 1 to 7 that you think should be New South Wales right now, like this year. 1 to 7.
This year?
Yeah. Everyone go.
It's easy. Yeah.
Tedesco.
Yeah.
Josh Adokar.
Yeah.
Latrell. Trebojevic. Brian Toe. Cleary is a 7. And Mitch Moses is a 6.
Ooh. Okay. Folks?
Yeah. I'm not of this same opinion. I've got everyone that Longy said, but I think Hines should play 6.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I think that's they're the first 5. Teddy, Toto, Trebojevic, Latrell, Adokar, Cleary, and Hines at 6.
I think this is maybe more a prediction. I think if Penrith are playing as well as they have been for the past 2 years at that stage, I feel like Luai will be safe. But let's just say Penrith are a bit below expectation, which this year there's more of a chance of that than I think there has been for the past couple of years. But I think Luai, I'll say, should be safe even if he is underperforming a bit. But I would like to see Nico get the crack. I mean, he was the first Dally M medal winner, I think, in like 30 years or something, to not get picked for the Australian World Cup side or not to be picked for a World Cup side the year that they won the Dally M medal. Like, it's crazy. So I think he at least deserves a shot. But it comes down to see how well Nico plays during the year as well. I mean, I'm tipping the Sharks to win the comp, but how many players have gotten that sort of second-year syndrome after winning the Dally M medal? I mean, I don't know how highly you guys rate him or not, but since winning the Dally M medal, I don't think Jack Whiten's been that good at all. Like,
not since that year, no.
He should never have won that Dally M, though.
I agree.
That Dally M came the year after he played really well.
I think he had a very good back half to the year in 2020, but throughout the whole season. And again, this is a whole argument about how the Dally M system works and that.
Dally M scored, yeah.
I think, I honestly, I would have, personally, I think that year for the whole season, it's very hard to go past Cleary. But for Whiten to finish above Gutherson that year as well, who was also amazing.
Gutho killed it. It was Gutho's Dally M.
I think Cleary or Gutherson, and then Whiten probably wouldn't have come to mind really for me as well. Sort of like 2018. For me, Roger Tuivasa actually came a little bit out of nowhere, which, again, it's a little further back. But I remember at the time thinking, like, maybe Munster had a really good year. That was Damien Cook's sort of breakout season as well. He was really good. Kalen Ponga had a really good year. I thought it was probably close to the best year he's had in 2018.
A lot of those Dally M winners don't make the finals the following year. Even Tom Trebojevic recently, Whiten didn't make the finals the following year. I think back to all the Hayne Dally M years. I don't think we made the finals the years after he did that. There's a big chance Hines doesn't back it up.
RTS won it, and the Warriors didn't even make the 8 that year, I'm pretty sure.
They finished 8th, I think.
Yeah, because he carried them.
I think Ben
Hunt could do that too at some point.
Well, one of the Dally M's that Jared Hayne won, the one that he won with Thurston, Parramatta didn't even make the top 8. So maybe it was sort of good that he co-won it with Thurston. I don't know. But
he was so good though that year. Like, he broke fantasy sports that season, 2014.
That was the year before he left, right? He won it.
He had a big ego after that. Said he'd achieved everything in the game except for a comp, apparently.
No, that was the year after he won his second Dally M when he should not have tied with Thurston. that year.
Yeah, Thurston
It was
shouldn't
an
have been in it
absolute
at
joke.
all.
And then
Sorry, what?
You know, I agree with you. Haynes should have won it outright.
When else did Hayne win it? 2009? Did he win 2009 as well?
Yeah.
He shared that
Yeah.
with someone. Didn't he share that with?
No, he didn't.
No.
He won
no.
09,
Who
right?
shared one with Cooper Cronk more recently?
Jason Tamalolo,
Tamalolo.
That's it.
Tamalolo.
That's it. Yeah,
2016.
Lolo deserved that one outright.
You've brought up Jared Hayne now, and I've got to I've had my gripe against Sam Walker, for what he did to my team. I've got to like Jared Hayne. I mean,
Oh yeah, he's really good for you guys though. Yeah, this is my house.
he had that one good
Yeah.
game with the Tigers where he kicked the field goal, but for the rest of it, he nearly the Titans were like 5th in the comp when he went to the side. I'm pretty sure they were like, I don't think they would have finished top 4, but they were like on the periphery of the top 4. And then he came into the side and they scraped top 8. There was like 5 rounds to go as well, and they scraped top 8 because they started pushing everything through him, which I guess you can understand to an extent, but it's like everything they were doing that was working to that point because Hayne had come in. It was almost like we've got to center and again, I understand it, but we've got to center everything around him and sort of change the way we play for him. And it was actually to a detriment. And then, I think it wasn't even up to the Titans. It was, I think Canberra flogged the Tigers in the last game of the season for the Titans to finish 8th in 2016. When
Haynes a team cancer. He's a team cancer.
Yeah.
We were a top 4, top 8 team for a couple of years. Hayne came back. We missed the 8, came like 15th. He left again, and we went in top 4 again.
Yeah.
So, he's just so clearly he's super talented, and I'll never not enjoy the highlights.
I think the trip ruined him. The trip over there ruined him.
Well, Hayne allegedly got Neil Henry the sack as well after he took us to the top 8 for the first time.
Yeah.
Like the first time they'd been there in 6 years. And again, apparently Hayne wasn't happy with him, so they got rid of Neil Henry, and then Hayne left and went back to the Eels the end of the next season, and the Titans missed the 8, and it was back down again. Because the Titans have now made the 8th stint, so I'm not as angry with Jared Hayne about that anymore, but yeah, what could have been, eh?
Titans coaching is weird too. Actually, let's talk about this because I think the Titans I love the Titans, but I think they're one of the worst coach teams in the comp. And just the usage of Dave Feeder. If you're going to pay him $1 million, they use him so poorly.
Yeah.
They give him no early ball. They don't isolate him against anyone. They just use him terribly. Just look at the way the Roosters use edge back rowers. Do half of that with Dave Feeder. Sounds like Parra use their edge back rowers. Do half of that. Give him half the ball that Satilia Tupanui gets.
Oh yeah,
and he would be Dally M Player of the Year.
It's also they usually don't go. They don't go to that side, but the thing there are so many decisions like Mo Fodawaker starting off at the bench for so many games, especially when it's been proven the Titans are losing. Moving Tino's positions randomly on a couple of occasions. You've got releasing Fogarty, releasing Marju as well.
Marju was so good.
I guess I love Marju.
Kind of the usage of Jaden Campbell too, and right now him starting off the bench, I'm not really as upset with because I think Winston's best position probably is fullback. But like last year, I know he was injured for a little bit, but there was like a solid 5-week period where Jaden Campbell was playing reserve grade and just wasn't getting picked when he was coming back from injury, and Holbrook just waited ages. It seemed like, okay, maybe a week or two to see if he's fit again, but there was like a patch there where Jaden Campbell didn't get picked either, and it's just mind-boggling. Like, it was exciting to see Pereira obviously score the 4 tries against the Dolphins the other night, but I mean, he's a good promising winger that's done nothing wrong so far, so we probably won't get picked until like round 10 and then get dropped 2 weeks later when the Titans lose. And even though he scored 2 tries in the games, like,
no, he's good. He's good. Hey, I've got to take a pivot here. Emil, who'd you take there?
Sammy Verrills.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I needed number 9. I needed
Jaden Brayley.
Oh, you know what I did? I picked him. I pressed the button, and then I saw Verrills. I'm like, Newcastle are not going to do Verrill this year, so I picked Verrills instead. Lucky it's lagging because it would have went straight through.
Unless Jaden Brayley has a great round 1, and then you regret it.
Who did Newcastle got round 1?
Warriors. But Verrills has the Tigers, so yeah,
There you go.
they're both winnable games.
Yep. And he's
Verrills
ex-Roosters.
is interesting. Verrills he's done some things in big games before. Just hasn't been able to stay on the field, but he's pretty good. He's all right.
Yeah, once before his ACL injury, he was very good, and then after the ACL, he just dropped off a little bit.
Yeah,
But
you got
not really
Brandon
anyone
Smith
else.
now, anyway.
Yeah, but again, that's the same. He's not an 80-minute player, and I don't think he can get to that 80 minutes.
You'll have a Hutchison or Turpin on the bench anyway.
Please don't say it. Don't say that name.
The
Hutchinson.
Terp or the Hutch?
Hutchinson. My good. If you know me, like all my friends and family, every time he gets the ball on the screen, I scream.
Dude, everyone has a player like that on their team.
He had a solid, what was it, end to 2021, was it? I'm trying to think, where he was just like serviceable.
He had some big moments. He did have some big moments.
Yeah, big moments. But you need to play 80 minutes, and he got burnt with Manly. They just ran around him 4 or 5 times.
He nearly died for the Roosters once. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's weird.
When he got injured, this is bad to say, but when he got injured, I just hope that he just didn't come back.
Oh,
I think
Berg's on the clock here.
there was a chance.
Who are you liking?
Yeah, well, there you go. Sam's taking Jaden Brayley off your hands.
Oh, there we go. The hookers are running thin.
This
Hookers probably the hardest spot.
I need a 5'8".
What is there left at 5'8"? Oh, Luai, Kiri, Moylan, Ezra.
See, the thing is, I've already got Brandon Smith, and I've already got 2 Penrith players as well.
Oh right, you know what another player. That's right. That's fair.
So you got Ezra.
I don't want to double up. You know what I mean? Ezra is there, and I do like Ezra Mem. The other guy that's there, who could have an absolute monster year.
It's over now. I want to know who you picked.
Oh.
Why are you leading us on like this?
Oh, what do you mean? It's what I do to women. It doesn't work that as often.
Who'd you pick? I don't want to wait for 10 minutes before it tells us.
I went with. I'm trying to pick Josh Schuster.
Ooh!
He's out for 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's all right.
That's different.
I'll just put in Drew Hutchison. I've heard he's really good.
Oh my goodness.
Superstar.
I can't with him. What does he do? He just gets the ball and kicks it. And then the kicks aren't even that great.
No, the kicks are terrible.
Oh man.
But yeah, I've got to go for a bit of got to go for a bit of explosion, I think. And Schuster's my guy.
All right, everyone, say goodnight to the Northern Viking King.
Good night, Northern Viking King.
Night, Northern Viking.
Night,
NVK. We'll see you next time, mate.
NVK.
He gets a nickname.
Oh, come on.
I can't believe how slow.
So I can line up my next pick.
Stunned by how slow.
Normally it like fixes it fixes
like an
itself.
hour.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And also, I'm starting to think now, like, how late tonight do I stay up to keep doing this?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to jump off at the end of this round, so in a minute. But
I might even pause it after the end of this round. Maybe just resume it later. Like,
yeah. I reckon you could do that. That'd probably be better.
Can you do that
for everyone?
Can you pause it and then continue it tomorrow or something?
I don't know how long you can pause it for, technically.
You should do that. Not tell anyone else that's playing that you've paused it. So then when we redo it, we come back here, just us, and I can make up for the automatic picks I had and can actually make some picks while everyone else gets automatic
You
picks.
said that on camera.
I've honestly...
While streaming it out.
Hopefully they're not
how long?
I'm too busy looking at the teams.
How long is it supposed to take, like, roughly?
It would have been done.
Yeah?
By now, easily, yeah. But it's just been crazy.
Yeah,
Joshy
it's legit.
Schuster comes off.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I mean, possibly as well.
Fine.
If you paused it, and we came back to it like at another date. Would it possibly fix that issue?
I think
know.
so. Yeah, I've done a lot of drafts and mocks, and it's always
Okay, it's been
no.
quick.
I've never played for like 15 years and then seen it like this. It's crazy.
So if you press pause, it will just stop it. Yeah.
I don't know how it works with logging out and back in, but theoretically it should.
Right.
Or I can just let it run.
I mean, I don't mind either way. I mean, I've already half my picks I've made so far have been auto picks, so the rest of them might be at this point I've already lost.
Yeah, look. What I think with this though is like normally, shame on Supercoach, because they clearly don't realize we're on a schedule. But I think normally it fixes itself. You know, if something like this is a continuous issue, then it's like, you know, is that like fix yourself? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. There's no like refresh button or anything like that, eh?
Yeah, it shouldn't be like a continuous issue for the entire draft. Do you
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, it shouldn't.
It should be slow, maybe slow at the start, you know, and then they fix it up. Yeah, it's just nonsense.
Yeah, it's not anything to do with my browser either. Like it's, you know, we can join from anything. It's just stuff like this.
Maybe.
Anyway, we're into round 5. If you wanted to pause it now.
Pause.
All right.
Yep.
Pause. Last pick was Tungo for Zane. I'll just double confirm. So, yeah. Cool. Anyway, look, that winds down the stream for today. So, a bit of a marathon session going
Actually,
through.
it's got me. Yeah, it's got me on the clock. They are right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Marathon session going through a little bit of draft and a lot of footy chat in the end, which wasn't the worst at all. So, I would appreciate all the comments, and thanks, Emil. Thanks for Rugby League, in my opinion, for hopping on today with Bergs and myself. And look, we got to do this more, maybe even a post round 1.
Yeah, of course.
Talks,
I'm down.
like that.
I'm
We'll
keen.
get it all
Very
going.
keen. Yeah, for sure.
Beauty. All right, I'll close out the live there, but we'll see you guys next time.
Yep. Take